Yet I will be ripped apart before I choose a side. Yet the shadow of glass beneath my feet cuts this godforsaken street. Why can't we make things disappear? Steal the poison from our tears. Oh, crocky crosses pinned on the wall. Slow destruction of our childhood homes. High illusions, they seem no more, no crocky crosses pinned on the walls. Slow destruction of our childhood homes. High illusions, they seem no more, no
Yes, people, welcome back to another stream. We've got another panel show, and literally everyone is on it today. Tarek is on the way. He'll be here shortly, man. Make sure you guys are smashing up the likes. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel as well if you are new. Saeed Bingo, by the way, genuinely, I didn't think they'd get beat off Wolves, so I didn't plan enough time in it to do it before the stream. So I'll do it after this. But I'll show you that's just how bad they are. I didn't even expect them to get beat off Wolves, but yeah, there they are.
You're in for a good one today, LV, bro.
I believe so. People have been messaging me saying like they've gone sick or something. So
I've seen the odd clip. It's pretty good.
Have you? Yeah.
Too funny, man.
Yeah, bro. I was just like, they've just beat Leon, innit? Like mad comeback. Like there's no way they get beat off Wolves. So I didn't plan my timings. I was like, yeah, I'll go pub. I'll go to
probably absolutely spent, aren't they? After throwing everything into that 10-man Leon performance.
Yeah, I suppose so. But yeah, big up to you guys, innit? Make sure you guys are smashing up the likes in the chat if you are new here. City won 2-0. We are now fourth with 5 games to go. But we got a massive game against Villa. We could have really done with Newcastle winning that, to be honest with you. But Villa smacked them up, man. Scoring 4 goals past them, which I don't think anyone expected, to be honest with you. Forest play tomorrow against Spurs. If they win, we will drop down to 5th, which is still obviously a Champions League spot. But it's getting mad tight, lads. Like it's crazy. Listen, we'll speak about obviously yesterday, but if you guys want to just speak generically about the season and the last couple of games, then feel free. But Joe, let me start off with you, man. What did you make of yesterday? How do you think we're situated right now? Five games to go. You think we're in a good position, or what are you saying?
The game yesterday was weird because I thought we were shit for like so much of that game. Like I thought it was. I mean, it might just be because it was a shit game, so therefore I just sort of like I therefore just instinctively just go, well, we were shit, but. We were sloppy for large parts of that game. I felt the first half we didn't really take any serious control over anything at all. Second half probably like equally so. I didn't really come away feeling like we'd been particularly good. But obviously we got those 2 goals late on that kind of like paper over what I think is a pretty meh performance. But then also on the other hand you've got the fact that it's Everton, Moyes Everton at Goodison Park. It's always going to be tough. I think I predicted on here a couple of weeks ago that we wouldn't win. So I mean, it's better than anything I could have predicted. But I just think it was pretty. The performance wasn't really very inspiring at all. And I think obviously the problem that we've got with the situation that we're currently in is that pretty much every result that could have gone the way we wanted it to. Obviously, last weekend it felt like everything went our way. This weekend it's kind of gone the opposite. Where like obviously Chelsea have come back to win today. Newcastle have absolutely bottled it against Villa, which means that we don't really have like a gap between like us and sixth place anymore, or seventh place anymore. Sorry, you've got Forest still to play this weekend. If they get even just a point out of that, they're on level points. It's just like it feels like we're still in a situation where there's like 4 or 5 teams that are still very much in it, and we want to sort of be at the stage of the season now where we're starting to see people fall away from that chasing pack. So obviously the results that have gone on elsewhere this weekend haven't really been great for us. But I mean, ultimately at this stage of the season, with the situation that we're in, it's very much just a win's a win territory, really. 3 points are just 3 points. I'm kind of, as much as yesterday's performance wasn't great, and it was genuinely some of the most painfully boring football to watch I'd seen for at least the first half. Then yeah, I think that I'm not really fussed about that at this point. I'm kind of just like, as long as we get 3 points, then it doesn't actually matter. So yeah, I mean, ultimately, we're not really any closer. You know, this win hasn't made me feel any better about things. The only kind of positive spin you can put on it is the fact that Newcastle lost means that there isn't another team sort of breaking away from us, above us, if that makes sense. Like, now we're at a point where like any one of us can finish.
But would you not rather have that happen, though, Joe? Would you not rather have Newcastle beat Villa to sort of create a gap between us and Villa?
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's it. What I just said there is me attempting to give some copium to the fact that it's gone the way that I did. That it hasn't gone, because I think ultimately if Newcastle would have won, then Villa would be sat on 54 points right now, and we'd have a bit of a cushion, especially with Tuesday coming up. Like a defeat to Villa wouldn't, it'd be shit, but it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. Now a defeat to Villa on Tuesday, which I'm absolutely expecting, by the way. And if anybody in this panel thinks we're going to beat them, then fair enough. But I think the idea, if they beat us, they're on 60, we're on 58, and that's assuming that Chelsea and Forest don't also pick up points there. And next thing you know, we could be 7th by Tuesday night. Wednesday night, assuming that the games are spread out over a couple of days. So yeah, ultimately, not great in terms of the rest of the fixtures, but yesterday's game was very much just a job done, get 3 points kind of job.
You know, the best thing about this, looking at this league title, not this league table now, is nobody actually gives a shit.
Did you just say the title, bro?
No, what?
Did you say the title?
No, nobody gives a shit about the title now. The interest
we can still win it, right?
This all eyes in European football are on this.
Yeah.
No one cares.
Yeah, no one cares about the other stuff. Honestly, this is the race now, and
that is crazy how close it is, isn't it?
In fact, no one cares about Arsenal. They're fucking not involved either.
Arsenal, I'll tell you what, Arsenal will be looking over their shoulders. One of these teams in the top 5 there can win 4 on a spin. Arsenal will not get any second there.
I thought Newcastle would capture me, but they fucking bottled it, didn't they?
I can't believe they got beat yesterday. I'll be real with you, man.
I know after Villa went life and death with fucking PSG in midweek as well, I thought they'd be absolutely spent, but that was a big result for them, wasn't it, at weekend?
There's only one team out of this chasing pack here for this 3rd to 5th that I've got it in them, and that's us. We're the ones that we might not have been great this season, but we know what it's like to go
6 unbeaten now as well.
Every game, we have to win every game, and I don't see us not. Yeah, we know what it's like when you have to go back, when you have to go Tuesday, Wednesday, Saturday every week and win every game. We've been there, we've done it. Cheers, Ty. And we've been there, done it, man. So it's like we're the team there that have done it. And looking at what we've done in the past, I can't look at us and say, I'm worried, man. We're gonna get it. We're gonna get 3rd place easily. I think it's gonna be comfortable.
3rd place easily.
What happens on Tuesday, or you're not bothered about what happened? So what we saying about Tuesday? Because obviously Tuesday's a massive game, man.
Do you think that Pep goes for a draw?
No,
I think so. Yeah.
You're at home.
No, just to win that.
I think
if he's sensible, he should go for a draw.
I think he will. Just going off the United game, and I half thought myself on Saturday he played for a draw, to be honest.
I thought that, yeah.
That's what it felt like for 70 minutes, 75 minutes of the game. Do you know what I mean? Until we pipped the goal. But I felt like he'd kind of... Every time you play Bernardo on the right wing, you're playing for a fucking draw, aren't you? At the end of the day. It's absolutely reeks of a 0-0 like, every time that guy's on the wing. So
I think to us, bro, we don't rate that. But Pep rates that. That's why he's playing that, innit? I don't think it's in Pep's mentality. I don't think he's got that mentality to go for draws, man. Even though sometimes it's sensible, I don't think that's in his mentality. And I think when he's playing Bernardo right wing, I think that's what he thinks is his key to victory. which is mad.
Now, the one thing that I will take into Tuesday, feeling a little bit confident about, is the fact that it is at home, which we've already mentioned. We've been in a similar position before, where we've kind of gone into games like this thinking, oh, we're going to get battered, and we've ended up coming out on top pretty comfortably. You go back to the Forest game at home. Forest game at home was 3-0. Dealt with them pretty comfortably. The Newcastle game at home was 4-0. We dealt with them pretty comfortably. Now, they're obviously two similar sides who are in a similar vein of form as Villa or have been across the season. So if you look back at our performances in those games in particular, that gives me a little bit of hope going into Tuesday that we can kind of do it. Not saying that we will. If you were to offer me a draw right now, I'd snap your hand off.
There's more pressure on them. Yeah. There is more pressure on them to win. Because if we beat them,
they are
chasers, dropping paper down. Yeah. This is the biggest 6 point of the season for probably both teams, and it's going to be huge. If we can beat them, that gives us breathing space. You don't have to worry about the teams, because a lot of these teams play each other. So there'll be times when the points will be dropped and things go in our favour, boys. So
that should suit us better as well, innit? Do you know when we're playing against these teams like Everton, we've really struggled to break them down. Whereas like Palace really went for it the other week, didn't they? I expect Villa to come and do the same and leave these openings that give people like Arthur the space, Savio space.
No mugs, bro. They were very solid to break down.
They are solid, and they just know they play to their strengths.
That's what I mean, though. But they come just to not concede, don't they, and try and nick one on the counter attack like they did against Forest last week. Whereas Villa are going to come out and try and get at us from the get-go. So I'm hoping that will open up more spaces in their defence as well.
Yeah, I actually genuinely fell asleep watching the game yesterday. Missed
telling you, man. Thank you. I'm glad it was just me, mate.
Yeah, it was 0-0. All right, not missed anything. I genuinely haven't.
The thing is with Everton, though, like as frustrated as we may be, a lot of that is down to Everton. Like no matter who we would have played yesterday in a starting lineup, Everton are always going to frustrate you like that. And if you look at how they've been playing recently as well, they have been playing really well.
And Arsenal haven't beat them. Liverpool couldn't beat them. You know what I mean? Other teams have gone there and not been able to beat them. So,
and they're leaving the stadium, man. Like you got to understand. Like, obviously, I didn't go. I don't know what it's like, but like I imagine that the Everton fans and the players. I imagine. I don't know what it was like, but I imagine like it was pretty difficult gaff to go. Yeah. If you're about to leave the stadium, you know what I mean?
We've always struggled going there. Yeah. We've always struggled going Goodison for years. And you think back to like the Darren Gibson goal and stuff like that. They always used to beat us at Goodison.
I remember when West Ham had their last game at the Boleyn ground. They played United, and United were going for Champions League. Then they beat them 3-2. It is always hard to play a team leaving their stadium.
Everyone bigging up Tarkovsky in the chat. I'm loving it. I'll tell you, this guy, man, he's the real deal. He's the real Tarkovsky.
He's a good player.
He's a good player if you're trying to get in the top 10. Top 16.
He's solid, isn't it? You know what you're going to get from Tarkovsky? He puts his body on the line, isn't it? He's a good defender. He's a good defender of what, I mean.
Oldham legend.
A while now. But the thing is with his top 5 race, boys, like we can afford. It's weird. It's a position we're not used to. So we can afford to drop results, and because others around us are doing the same thing, right? So it's not like we're fighting for the title where you drop a point and it's like it's the end of the world. You know what I mean? I'm feeling suicidal for the rest of the day. It's not like them times. It's like it's completely different, man. It's a different landscape. We can take a draw. We can do these things because they're going to do the same thing the week after.
Some of our fan base ain't understanding this though, because I'm seeing for the last 5 weeks, I'm seeing people saying it's a must win, it's a must win, it's a must win. I'm like, no, it's not a must win, because as you say,
it feels like it because that's what we're used to.
Because that's what we're used to. Yeah. When you're in a title race, every single game, week in, week out, is a must win. Yeah, but like when you're in this top 4, why are we in the top 4 race? Why are Forest in the top 3? Why are these teams? Because they're not consistent.
Because we're
that's literally why they're in the top 4 race, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm with Jay, man. I'd take a draw right now on Tuesday. If you offer me a draw, I'd take a draw. Last 4 games, Southampton, Wolves, win those 2.
We should be able to do that, yeah.
A draw's a fantastic result, but I don't think Pep knows how to do that, how to play for a draw.
You say that, but
did you see Old Trafford?
Yeah, Old Trafford.
I just think we were shit. I don't think we was actually trying to actively play for a draw. I just think we were shit, bro.
No, but then
usually a byproduct of playing.
Posting comments from the players saying good point on the road. I'm not sure if I agree with
I think we came
kind
for
of the mentality.
I think he shit at that.
Yeah. 100%.
I just set up like we kind of did yesterday. I know Pep got obviously a little bit of stick, but ultimately I think Pep just set the team up to be quite solid. Yeah, I mean, we didn't give Everton really any chances other than set pieces, and we just tried to nick it, and that's exactly what we did. That's why, like, as much as maybe it's disgusting football to watch, I think you've got to give Pep credit for yesterday for the way that he set the team up, because ultimately, I think his plan worked. He set the team up to be solid.
I did understand it in the end,
and he did. Like, but the thing
you
is,
can't really play with.
Bro, someone said it in the chat, when I did the watch along. Someone said, if we don't win today, Pep's going to get cooked. But if we win, it's like a mint tactical decision. And whoever said
he ain't getting the credit these days, though, LB, man. He's getting cooked every week, no matter what, bro. Even for his lineups or anything. It doesn't matter. You see these times on the timeline, it's a toxic place, It's full of fools, mate. Fools. Yeah, you're all.
I think the problem. I think on the counter to that though, I think the reason why people are getting pissed off with like starting lineups and stuff is because we're watching the same players who we've seen be inconsistent and or shit all season still get starts.
They're still being trusted,
bro. But like he just said, if he goes and gets a result, he's not won the game for it though.
Yeah, I complained not about the starting lineup. I complained about the substitutions, and I still maintain that I feel like I was probably right. But at the end of the day, we got the win, and that's ultimately all that matters. So
just because Kovacic slips and it happens to go in the bottom corner doesn't mean you're wrong for thinking that him coming onto the game was not correct.
I have a problem with Kovacic coming on. I wanted Kovacic to come on. I wanted Kova to come on, but I didn't want him to come on in place of he came in for Nico Gonzalez, right? I wanted him to come on.
Yeah. Absolutely, yeah.
I felt Gundo. There was a moment like maybe 3 minutes before the substitution. Gundo's like hands on his knees, bent over. He's like can't go. So it's like he's the one that needs to be coming off. Why are we taking off Nico Gonzalez? I was okay with Doku coming on, but don't take off. In my opinion, it was don't take off. Take off Bernardo. What is he doing now? Again, he makes a little pass to Nunez, who crosses the ball in, so we get a goal. But I just don't think that. Yeah, come on, man. I had an issue, and I voiced that on Twitter, and there were people who had issues with that. That's fine. But the end result is all that matters at this point in the season. We just need wins.
This is the thing with Bernardo there, bro. Yeah, you see that pass you're talking about, Tariq? I think that was the second pass out of 26 that actually went forward. You know what I'm saying? This is what we're dealing with this guy.
Yeah. Well, it is, but at the end of the day, like it worked and we won. And I think that I'm sorry, but we're match day 33. We're not just going to start seeing mad mint performances now. Like, we are now a results-based team only. That's it. That's the truth. Because we can't play good football. We can't.
Even the treble season, we played shit in the last few games, didn't we? And just got ourselves over the line in the game. The Inter game, the FA Cup final, the game against Chelsea. I mean, we even lost the last couple, a few games in the back end of the Prem against Brentford and stuff, didn't we? So we're well known for kind of slowing down at the back end of the season. But like you say, it's about grinding out the 1-0s and the kind of championship winning games that have won us titles in the past, and we need to kind of lean on that experience again this year, don't we?
You know what it is? You know what it is? Not a lot of these teams have been in this sort of backs to the wall situation before. We're used to needing to win every game, not that we need to. What like Forest don't know about this respect.
That's why I think Forest will fall off, Villa I think they'll really struggle.
Actually. I know Villa sort of squeaked in last year, but it's like we're used to this. We're used to having to win every game. We're used to
my problem that's what gets us over the line, Danny. That's what's going to get us over the line, mate, into this final thing, because we've been there, done it. We might not be going for the title, but we're going for just clean results. We can't afford to. Our destiny is in our own hands. Win all our games. We're in, and that's all Pep cares about. It's just about every game. Doesn't matter how we play. Doesn't matter the score. Just win at all costs.
My thing is, I think mentally we might be ready for that, but I think we've just got a squad that is just so fucking cooked that, like, if this was like 2 years ago, I'd be like, yes, sick. This is when the team locks in and just like we will win all the results we need to get now to do this. But the performances haven't been great, and obviously there's the two ways you look at that. In that there's the sign of a mature team where you have a shit performance but still win. And there's also the fact that shit performances won't get results forever. Like, at some point, we're going to drop points again and stuff like that. And obviously, like you say, because we've got so many teams here that are dropping points, and I think a couple of them start to play against each other at some point between now and the end of the season. Like, we're in a position where others are definitely going to drop points throughout. But yeah, I don't necessarily buy into so much that after this season, at this point, I don't necessarily buy into the idea just because they've mentally been there before. that therefore means that we're going to do it. I don't think it's as simple as that, personally.
It's exciting, all right.
It gives us an edge, though. I think it definitely gives us an edge on your Forest and your even Chelsea. They ain't built for this shit. Chelsea, look, even with Maresca with Leicester last season, they was about 20 points clear at Christmas and only just scraped through at the end, didn't it? They don't really have that mentality either. So I think even though it might not be like a major, it definitely gives you an edge on top of those teams, in my opinion.
It's building a mentality in players that haven't really ever felt. We've been going for titles before. Some of these lads are there, some of them aren't there. Some new lads are here that have never been through anything where they need to actually just absolutely back the wall and grind it out. You know what I mean? Now these lads there that are fucking playing for it and they're feeling it. They're going through it every week. They know they've got to win. You know, and that sort of stuff can only like help people like Savinho and stuff and Nico Gonzalez and that who are coming into the thing for the first season and seeing the professionalism and the drive that we've got just to get into the top 5. Think about that. That's going to help the squad going forward. And when next year we're hopefully going for the title. Point, you know, it's a mentality thing that our club, and that's what we're good for, and that's what we're known for. I just shouldn't think we should be doubting it at all.
Yeah, I want to put a bit of respect on. Sorry, bro, just on a certain guy's name, before we continue, and that's Ilkay Gundogan, because I think all the stick this guy's got all season. I think at times he's put the team on his back recently, you know, a little bit in the middle of that midfield.
Yeah, absolutely.
He's tried his bollocks off.
He's been good, yeah.
He's been really good. I think now he's got we've reached a point of the season now where he's got a midfield around him, or players around him.
Nico makes a massive difference to Gundogan, I think.
Yeah. He's not the.
He's like shines when Nico G's next to him.
Yeah, he's got players who can sort of do the hard running and do like all the six work, and then he can actually do it his job.
You know as well. Like I'm seeing him running up and down, bro.
Yeah, as he doesn't have to do it all game because he's not chasing counter attacks for 90 minutes like we were at the first half of the season.
It took him too long to get used to the speed of Premier League again. I think he probably suffered so badly because he thought maybe nothing's changed here when it probably has gone up another level in terms of awareness and speed of when he used to play. I think we can all see that the Premier League's improved since Gondol left 2 years ago.
If you remember back,
his marketing played double pivot.
If you think back to the game that we played against Forest, he played with Grealish in the midfield. And that was probably Gundogan's best game up until that point. And why? Because he had someone running next to him who was doing the hard yards, and he could just play his football. And he actually played all right yesterday. I mean, for me, I still don't think he should be here next year. Yeah, he's going to be 35 years old, but
I know how you feel, brother. I know how you feel. For me, he's playing his way into that new contract, man. For me,
not for me, but
I think Kovacic in the LB for you.
I can't believe the fucking disrespect Kovacic got on that tweet, man. It's absolutely wild, bro. I would still get rid of him. I'd get rid of all 3 of them. But if I was to keep one, it obviously would have been Kovacic. You know what I'm saying? But Gundogan played well. What did you guys make of Nico G? I've seen a lot of people, saying that he played shit yesterday.
No, he didn't play shit.
I thought, what? I went on a timeline. I got people messaging me saying Nico's stinker, Nico worst game. I was like, what?
No.
Hey, be serious. What do you guys make of Nico G yesterday? I thought he played well, to be honest.
He's got. There are games where you went in. The fact that you don't. I didn't even notice.
You don't want to see him, do you? Yeah.
No, I don't know he's had a good game. I don't know he's had a bad game. I know he was on the pitch and we won, and that is enough. And you realise that if you understand football on a level of just looking at sofa score and seeing who scored and assist and stuff, you realise that he's imperative to the way we play. He puts fires out, just cracks on with a ball, keeps possession. He's always in there for the second balls. If he does that. And if he does that in every game he plays, and I don't hear from him until the end of the season, when he's picking trophies, I don't care.
Their only threat was really like the set pieces, weren't they? Like coming into the box, like Tarkovsky's header and stuff
Which, to be honest, I am a little bit concerned with. Because
very concerned. And we will talk. We need to have a serious conversation about our set pieces because I think I tweeted about them defensively and going forward as well. They're probably the worst I've seen in the league by any team. Like there's something seriously going wrong in our training sessions when it comes to our set pieces because they're absolutely diabolical.
I would say we don't have a coach.
Exactly. But that's what I mean. You didn't really see, on just finishing on Nico G, you never really saw Everton attacking in transition on the counter-attack, and that's all down to him at the end of the day. Even in being in that position as a threat defensively, it kind of puts those fires out, like Popey said. So their only chance of scoring really was lumping the ball into the box, wasn't it? They weren't like breaking through the midfield or anything. So he did his job in my eyes.
It was the Brandweight one that really got me because we lost the first ball and then he was untracked on the second ball. And this kind of stuff needs calling out. And something else that needs calling out is how the guy to my left keeps waffling about Kovacic.
What?
I think he did
No,
that
I'm
for
being
size.
told by like
I did that
Kovacic
for
is the
size.
worst
I did
out
that
of
for
Gundo
size.
and Bernardo Silva and Kovacic. I'm like, that is not true. Sorry, that is not true. Man.
I'd go as far as saying Bernardo's probably the worst, to be honest with you. For me.
I can't
Oh, I
believe
agree with you.
people
I agree with
saying
you.
that. Yeah,
I
people
think-
that man said he was the worst out of the three.
I tweeted you saying that exact thing, yeah, and people were backing it as well. I think he still is probably the worst. I know he gets on the end of a few sliding tackles that go in at the edge of the box. But
Season, you know.
You know what makes me laugh with these guys' goals? Yeah, he's so clumsy, Kovacic. Yeah, why is he?
Every single goal.
These goals?
I know every single goal he's sliding on the edge of the box. I don't
I'm
get
not
it.
hating it because thank you for scoring that goal, but
The same goal every time. It's mad
why
how
are you
he
on the
does
deck
it.
again? Why are you on the deck? Like, can you not
It's a tactic, man. It's the way he strikes the ball, bro.
That goal he scored, right?
Recover. Oh no.
That goal he
so
scored,
sad.
you might like. He did well to get something on that because it was an absolutely shocking pass from Gundogan. He sort of like dived to get it. It was a shit pass from Gundo. It was no way.
It was almost like a
making a
tackle,
meal of
not
it,
a
man.
shot.
Yeah, he was just sending it.
I think he was probably trying to pass it 30 yards to the right hand side and just fucking miss it, and it went in.
I think I've never understood like the Kovacic thing is just like so it's another Gundogan where like everyone thinks he's shit because he's been told to do a job that like he wasn't brought in to do all year. Like he wasn't brought in to be like the lone six who does like all the covering for counterattacks and stuff. Like we've been shit for reasons that aren't Kovacic. He just happens to be the guy who's been put in the Rodri position that has to deal with all the shit stuff that happens, and he looks bad. And like he's actually when you just put a midfield around again like Gundogan, you're putting a midfield around him that lets him do what he's good for, then he can do it. And I think that we've seen it. We saw him last year do that. We've seen him this season, I think, when he's been put in games where he's not been hung out to dry in a shit midfield, do that. Unfortunately, LB wanted him gone 2 weeks ago, and
no, I still want him gone.
Now we're here.
No, I still want him gone.
Disproven.
I still want him gone. I just think out of the three,
flapper.
I would keep him out of the three, but I still want him gone. I want them all gone. I want Gundogan gone, Bernardo gone, Kovacic gone. I want a fresh.
You're not ready to live in a world, LB, where next season all three are still there, mate.
Oh my God! Well, we won't. We're going to struggle then if that happens,
mate. If we don't, we've got to give Benfica the biggest discount on Bernardo that you can imagine. Just give him the pity transfer to Benfica. Like I think at this point Pep needs to have these guys not even available so that he can actually just move on from playing them. Because I think as long as they're here, he's going to play them like in most games, and we're going to end up just never ever. We're going to end up watching Bernardo at right wing until the moment he leaves this club.
Yeah. But Kovacic, Kovacic is our third highest goal scorer this season.
I don't care, bro. To be honest with you, I don't care. To be honest,
you were saying the same about McAtee the other week. Like it's not.
Yeah, I won't fucking get rid of him either.
You can't claim McAtee's goals as being a reason why he's fucking staying because half of them were against Salford City, and then you're giving me all these numbers about McAtee and Kovacic and shit like that. The games are usually over by the time he pops one in.
Right.
So.
It's three out of about 10. It's half. You got to go back to school, mate. That's not half. Come on now.
Just on these guys though, yeah, I've got to be. I'm grateful for all the efforts this season, innit? I'm grateful. Thank you for trying your asses off all the time, even though you've probably not got it in you to do so. Thank you. However, there's nothing wrong with calling for some upgrades, man. You know, if we want to fight for these titles, bro, which I do want to do, yeah, standards. There's that key word that everyone likes. Standards. I'm on them. I've got high standards. And I want to fight for title again, bro. And we're not going to do it with these, man. I have just said Gundogan, however, is playing his way into the team. For me, I have him on the bench, yeah. I have him on the bench. But when he's in his starting 11, bro, he can't be running the midfield, bro. And we're getting away with it at the minute. You know what I'm saying? We are getting results, but I think that's credit to Pep Guardiola, man, and the way that we're playing still, like the style and that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think no matter how many of them stay or go, we cannot be in a situation where any of the three are actually in our starting midfield next season. Like that can't be the case. Like I think as long as I'm fine with having one or two. You know, if we have Gundogan and let's say Bernardo goes and we keep Kovacic because like Gundogan is staying now, so like it's going to be a case of one of the other two.
It's still not ruled out, you know, Joe.
Unless we have
as Pep not said that Gundo has activated it and it's done now.
I see that. Yeah, I thought it was done.
It was automatic, so it might still.
Yeah.
It wasn't like the club went, oh yeah, or he went, yeah. It's an automatic extension.
Would someone not need to buy him then? Would someone not need to buy him then for him to go?
I see like
or we release him
someone
for free.
Say you can't rule out like a move in it, like you can't move it out in it, like you can't rule it out, should I say?
Maybe.
But
Gundo false 9 next year is going to be generational, man. Get ready for it.
But
I
if we
think he's
wanted,
got. Go on.
I would say if we didn't want to have either or any of those three starting, we almost have to have someone in before the Club World Cup starts, because you're going to go right from that into almost right into the season almost, and there's not going to be a lot of time for Pep to bed in someone new, and he's not going to play somebody that hasn't bought into the system or is not aware of how he wants to play, whatever. So it's like almost, in my opinion, almost like we have to get someone in that little 10-day window that we have available to us right away, because otherwise we're gonna be stuck with what we have, at least for the first part of the season.
I hear what you're saying, bro. Yeah, but I think if you get a real enough baller, a serious enough baller, they can come in like that.
But I just don't know. And trust me, I'm not saying that their talent wouldn't be good enough to do it. I just don't know that Pep would trust them to come in and step into that.
Yeah,
because again, when we've had, again, people question why is Nico G on the bench? Well, Pep says, well, he moves too much. It's always something that Pep doesn't like, and so until you understand it, just come sit down next to me and we'll work on it in training.
Did the same with Rodri's first season. Didn't even start him in the Champions League final, man. So it's proven that Pep's got an issue with throwing people straight in, hasn't it? It's weird.
The chat said
if you're experienced enough, though, like Bruno G or someone like that, then
you'd like to think so, wouldn't you?
If you went into next season though with let's say you didn't sign someone before the Club World Cup and Rodri comes back over the summer, would you be fine going in next season with Rodri, Nico G and Foden as your midfield three, to start the season off? Because I think I would. And then you can bed in whoever. I'd be perfect. And then you can bed in whoever over the time, but obviously if we sign a Wirtz or Morgan Gibbs White or whoever it turns out to be, they've got to just get chucked straight in. I think you've got to just throw them straight in. Of course, it's who you buy, isn't it? So if Gibbs White joins City, I would be surprised if he went straight into the team. I would imagine it would probably Foden, Gonzalez, Rodri. But if Wirtz comes in, Wirtz ain't going to be sitting on the bench for 3
No, he'll be straight in.
120 mil slapped down on him and he sits on the bench.
Mancini just fucking benched Aguero for the first couple of games, didn't he? And he brought him on at the Swansea game. That
scored a brace. That was his debut, wasn't it? I think.
That was his debut,
2 goals and an assist, and then that was it, done.
Yeah.
But you know what? I think they are going to have to get some players in that little transfer window before the Club World Cup. I think they are, because I don't think Kev's playing in that World Cup, lads. Yeah, I don't, because if you think
his contract finishes halfway through it, doesn't it?
Yeah, so his contract.
He shouldn't play in the Club World Cup.
I don't think he's going to play in it, because the thing
Who's that, bro? Who's that?
Why is City going to pay Kevin De Bruyne $400,000 a week to play the Club World Cup where they're already getting the money anyway?
Yeah.
So unless Kev's please let me play.
Unless he wants the medal for playing a game.
If he begs for it, then maybe they will. But I don't think City are going to be I
think it's more. I mean, his contract, like you say, he's going to be paid for the amount of time in the Club World Cup that he would have been there anyway. It's just like you say, it's whether he wants to play or whether he's thinking, why do I want to risk an injury when I'm looking for a new club in the summer? I'd be, and if I was him, I'd be saying no, thank you, I'll sit this one out. And if I was the club, I'd be saying no, thank you, we'll play Echeverry or someone who can actually be here next season rather than you. So
let me do these super chats. Then we'll speak a little bit about De Bruyne, because there's been a lot of talk on that. Big up to Borna. Says big up from Croatia. We love you guys. Say big up, man. Big up for Croatia, innit? Big up to Borna.
Big up Croatia, man. I'm going to be there in the summer.
Where
are you going?
Gig, innit?
I'm going hideout and spend some time there as well. I love Croatia, man. It's a good spot.
Is it Split you're going to?
I'm going to Split primarily.
Yeah.
And then I'm going up north to Pag Island after that.
Nice.
Little decent, man. Big up. Big up to MCFD says, he's on man of culture. Look at him, man. LB Bray, you worried about Wirtz? Follows Alonso to Madrid. It's clear Morgan Gibbs White will be the 8th signing. Well, we still got to tell. Well, yeah, we'll speak about this as well in a few minutes. Yeah, Morgan Gibbs White.
We'll get into it.
Wirtz. Yeah, obviously, Bill's coming out now saying that Wirtz wants Madrid. This follows the news 2 days ago that apparently Ancelotti's leaving at the end of the season, and obviously Alonso's the favourite. I don't know. We'll speak about full transfers in a few moments, MCFC, but it's a good question. We'll get onto that, bro. Big up to JZ8. Says, great stream. Always good to see Steve on the panel from JZ8. Big up to you, man.
Big up, brother.
Shout out to LB. Says, people hate Nico because he's not good looking.
Which one? Which one?
Is he not?
This was during the Nico G chat.
Yeah.
Nico G chat.
Nico G's peng, man. I'd smash that all over.
He looks like you, Jacob, man. Good looking guy.
Yeah.
Man.
Nico G's a little sexy Spaniarita, man.
You're just saying that. You're just saying that because you look like him.
Yeah, exactly.
Spaniarita.
Yo, show some love, man.
It's the male senorita. I've just made it up on the spot.
What is happening?
He's not a bad looking guy.
Yeah, I think he's cute, man. He's got a nice little comb over and that little bit of facial hair. I'd give him a go.
Yeah, why not?
Right, big up LB, big up idiot man says Pep in. I never doubted him. He got his tactics spot on against Everton. Give him a new contract and let him write whatever. You big fraud, man. You big fraud. But also don't know this guy's constantly calling him out during the watch.
Fry's gonna cook you.
I don't know a guy with more splinters in the house, and this guy's sat on the fence every single time.
I know. It's crazy. It's crazy.
Fresh idiots a joke, man.
Big up Al says big up Steve and give us a rant, Jacob.
A rant.
Yourself, Alan.
Yeah. Yes, Alan. I miss you, mate.
I know, man. We miss you, Alan.
We've not gone to Diaz yet. There's plenty of time.
Nah, I can't be ranting on Diaz.
Yo, Sai.
Yeah, Sai says
next time I see you in Manchester, Sai.
Cover corrupt.
He's had enough today, Sai, mate. We can't fucking make him delete his channel and that, can we? After one day,
Throwing in the white towel.
Yeah,
chill, man, chill.
I've got some receipts cooking. I've got some receipts cooking. Don't worry, it's fine. I've got some. No way.
This is the thing now. If you want to start getting receipts on me, then trust me, man. I got the whole catalog ready to go. You know what I'm saying? Down to Jarvis as well. Says I'm not scared of Villa. I'm scared of Pep himself. Says Jarvis.
That's good.
And Borna says Josko at centre back has been amazing for us in Zagreb. We turned over Spurs in Europa, and for KDB, Olmo was better than Kovacic and Modric for Dynamo. Great at the
I take Danny Olmo, you know. I
like Olmo as well, man.
We had the chance in summer though when we passed on him, didn't we?
Nah,
he wanted to go to Barca.
Aren't Barca back on their? Are they not still unable to register him at the moment because of the rules?
I believe so. You know,
is he not now unregistered after they've had some kind of financial shit? And
potentially, I'd definitely bring him at City.
Reverse the rule.
It's going to be the same again. It's going to be another season of Olmo being rumoured to leave because of Barca's problems. Barca will work something out on the 31st of August, and they'll be fine. And they'll be fine. And then he'll stay there.
Part-time job as a part-time player and a cook. Just something to get in the door.
I don't know what Barca. I just don't know what it is about Barca. They've got this weird fucking hold over every player in the world that like they don't care about the finances. They don't care about how fucked they are. They just see the name Barcelona and just go, yes, sick, that's where I'm going. It's just and refuse to leave. Like De Jong should have left like a couple of times by now, but he just won't. Even when they've wanted him out, he won't go anywhere. It's mad. They're like Madrid. They've just got this weird hold on footballers.
History, innit? People are obsessed with it.
Yeah,
that's why people still go. That's why people still go United, man. Even though they're a rotting shit club, people still go there just because of the history and the name. And more fool to them, man. Go ruin.
Does that bode well for us then in the future? Because again, all these young players that are coming up now have only ever seen us be great.
Thank you, Tarek, bro.
Like, honestly, I've only ever seen us be
exactly,
great.
Yeah.
So you know, it's gonna be like, wow, I want to go. I know that club. I want to be a part of that in the future. So it's it's a good situation.
We'll definitely get there. Yeah,
it's already happening now. If you look at all these like
Sergio Gomez,
the youth and that, you look at these South Americans, bro, especially the Argentinians. Yeah, they love City, man. Yeah, you look at Zabo, you look at Caballero, Aguero, Tevez. Yep. Yeah, you got obviously Echeverri coming through.
Echeverri said it, did he? That he's a City fan because of the Aguero
all these guys. Because what it is, man. People are still. When we first got bought, all these guys did this funny thing. And fair dues, they had to cook us. I would have cooked us if I was an opposite. Like, oh, no one knows who you are. Blah blah blah. Fair dues, isn't it? Well, people don't realize this now. Yeah, we're like 15 years on now.
Yeah, this is the thing. I'll be.
If you're like a 20-year-old now or like 18-year-old coming through the academy. Yeah.
All you've known is City. All you've known is City.
All you've ever known is City, bro. And like the Aguero thing was probably the Aguero moment was probably the first big memory you remember as a kid because that was like 12 years ago.
It's the biggest memory in Premier League history, really and truly.
Facts. Yeah. So if you think you're 18 now, or like whatever, you're probably 6 or 7. That's probably that. Me going, but I don't know about everyone else, but like the first my first footballing sort of memories is like between 6, 7, and 8. That sort of era. So if you're 18, 19, coming through an academy, your first memories for going back is probably The Aguero goal, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
So
picking
people
up FIFA as a
keep
young
doing
kid,
it, man.
picking up FIFA and stuff on a console as a young kid, 8, 9-year-old at school and talking to your mates. It's just City players.
No one wants to play with fucking Hoyland,
Yeah.
innit, up front
Yeah.
on FIFA, man. Everyone people got the Haaland runners and that. Do you know what I mean? That's the truth. So yeah, let's see what happens, man. But yeah, listen, there's been a bit more talk on De Bruyne. I'm sure you've all seen the interview that Kevin De Bruyne did. It sparked quite a bit of a debate online between City fans about like what's going on. I'll just show you some of the comments here, man, so you guys can see what people are saying. So you got people like
big up
Andy. Yeah, big up Andy, man. He's saying he's disgusted with the club. He's been clear. He's been struggling with injuries for 2 years. Now he's back to fitness. We're letting him go. Poor taste by the club. But then you've got another Andy who says on the other side, he says it's the right decision. Whether people like it or not, can't trust he's going to stay fit. It's better to let him go out on a high.
People have been slagging him for months, man. Like you can't have it both ways. You can't have it both ways, innit? Like I've seen
very split.
People have been putting KDB in the unk conversation all season, man. So you can't say like he's finished and he's not up to this standard anymore, and then still want to keep him on 400 grand a week. It's got to be one or the other, innit?
He's only played 30% of the games in the last 2 years. He's only played 3 games.
We all love sentiment, right? We all love Kevin De Bruyne as a player, but you've got to be consistent, man. And if you want to get like your Gundogan's out, your Kovacic's out, your Grealish's out, then he probably falls into that bracket of players that aren't staying fit.
Everyone wants Stones and Ake out. Everyone wants Stones and Ake gone, don't they?
Yeah, but
they're younger, though, isn't it?
Right?
Go on, Joe. Are you go on? What you're saying?
On, Joe.
My issue is though that like Kevin De Bruyne is like the greatest player we've ever had. Like I'm not saying that. I just think that sometimes in football, like you just got to be a bit not rational and logical, and just let your greatest ever player decide when he leaves, and not make the decision for him.
Isn't that how we've got into this mess though this season?
And I think that would have been easy to do.
But I think
if we hadn't had the season that we've just had, I think if we'd won the Prem and that this season, then he would have stayed. But because of the situation we've just had this year, where we've been so shit, the club have obviously looked at the position we're in.
But this is the problem.
Said they've got to move them on.
The problem is that he's paying the price for Bernardo being shit, for Gundogan being shit for large parts of this season, for Kovacic being. For Walker being shit.
He's been pretty shit though, Joe. Sometimes this year as well.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying. Yeah, I'm not saying he hasn't. But De Bruyne himself has talked about how very recently he's only started to be able to play without pain, and we've seen his performances get better as a result of that. Like he might not, it might not have been amazing yesterday, for example, but for me, he was the only one who was actually trying to make anything happen out of that midfield. His chance creation stats are comfortably streets ahead of anything else that we've got in this team, and that's with him being shit for a large part of the season, or at least relatively ineffective for a large part of the season. And unfortunately, as well, another thing that hasn't really been considered is that his return of being consistently playing again has coincided with Haaland being injured. So someone's not able to actually put away those chances that he'd be racking up assists otherwise. And I just think that. Look, I'm not here saying that we should give him 400 grand a week and let him carry on, because I think that ultimately that's where the problem is. But the problem is, the thing is that Kevin De Bruyne is saying from what he's said, he was just pulled into a meeting and just told, we're not extending you anymore.
I don't think that's what's happened.
I don't know. That's fair. We don't know if anything has happened. But,
I just feel like that's like any other negotiation when it comes time for transfers or whatever. There's a lot of conversations that happen behind the scenes, but then it's always, we've never had formal conversations. I don't know that they've had a formal conversation with KDB. He said they didn't. So I'm going to assume that that's the case. But I am 100% confident that there was a discussion about, just what are you looking for? What do you want to do? All those kinds of things, even if it wasn't a formal discussion with a offer on the table. And then once they know, okay, he's either looking to stay at this pay rate and we're not willing to pay that, or we just don't think he's going to be healthy, then they made that decision to move on. I don't know that it's the right decision.
I agree. There are logical, like you say, there are those legitimate, and I think he talks about it as a business decision. I think there are those legitimate business. Like Pulpy said, he's missed so much football in his last 2 years. You cannot rely on him. There's obviously the fact that his wages are like, if he wants, if let's say that they had some prior conversations of some like very casual nature, and he said, look, I'm not staying if I'm earning less than what I'm earning now, then fair enough. At that point, the club's hands are tied. I think that's what's really happened, being honest. But if that has happened, then we'll find out about it, won't we? When the usual City boys get the news once he's actually left and walked out the door, we'll find out, won't we? But I think if it comes out after the fact that he's gone, that he was open to staying, and that City didn't even attempt to negotiate with any sort of like lower wages of any description.
Let me tell you, I think what happened, Joe. Let me tell you my theory. Yeah, I think so. This thing about formal offer, I don't think that's how football works, man.
No, it's not. It's not.
Honest.
Absolutely
I
not.
think basically what's happened is over the course of the last 3 or 4 months, they've probably had like, oh, do you want to stay? Yeah, well, blah blah blah. What you're looking for? Looking for 400 grand, blah blah blah, whatever. And I think City have just gone, we are nowhere near 400 grand a week. You had the news come out back in March that City were prepared to keep Kevin De Bruyne on 150k a week. This guy has offers from the MLS. Tariq can tell us, Danny can tell us about the money involved there. He'll have offers from Saudi Arabia on more money than he's on now, tax-free. I think you are extremely naive if you think Kevin De Bruyne would stay at City at 150k a week, if I'm being completely honest. He's only going to stay at City, minimum 300k, 400k a week. City are not going near that. And that's why no formal offer was ever made. Because it's pointless.
Do you think his argument, let's assume that he is looking for that 400. Does his argument get strengthened when you see Salah get 400, when you see Van Dijk get 400?
No, but Salah doesn't get injured. Salah's playing 35.
Maybe he's not just had the year that Salah's had
the dollar amount or the money. If all you're looking at is the money, then it's like, well, they're getting that. Why can't I get it? But because again, I think there are extenuating circumstances.
Salah's breaking records.
Exactly.
Yeah.
This is why
I'm convinced if we won the league this year, he'd be staying. Like that's the difference. But because of the mess we're in, and we've got these players like Gundogan and De Bruyne and Grealish that are all on £300,000, you can't keep them. It's not feasible to keep them when they're not playing enough football and not contributing positively to the team. Like it just can't happen as a football club moving forward. Now, if City want to be competitive like we all want to be and go back to winning titles next season, then they have to make a big statement in this transfer market coming up, and one of them statements will be to find this guy's replacement. Like we all want Wirtz. I'm on the belief that I don't think Wirtz would be as open to coming if he's not offered that being that main guy. Like we'll have discussions with him and saying, you're going to come and be our fucking top dog when you get in this team. Kevin De Bruyne's gone off. We need you to be that guy going forward.
And we've told him he's going as well. That's what we'll tell
exactly.
Wirtz. We've told Kev he's going. You're going to be the guy. The problem comes, is if we don't land someone like a Wirtz, and then you've told Kevin De Bruyne you're going.
Then we're in shit,
the fan base
that's
why
I'd like the Gundo situation. That's the Gundo situation.
Would you not like to think, though, that if we've made this cutthroat decision already, that there's not already these conversations happening with players that we're looking to approach in the summer? But
until they sign the contract and you get that picture with Chicky or Viana or whoever's going to be taking pictures nowadays, until that happens, nothing's guaranteed. We've seen Danny Alves. We thought he was, go ahead, take a little trip over to Paris. And then before you know it, it's off the table. My concern is that, because I agree, I think that there's an expectation that Wirtz or someone like that is coming in. But until we get them over the line, not re-signing Kev is a risk. Because there's no one else in our team that can do what he does.
Well, would you sign him on 400k a week? Sorry.
I would not sign him on 400k, but I also know that is a risky decision, and it's a calculated risk that I'm taking, and I have to know who's coming in behind him, because otherwise I'm going to leave. We're already struggling to be creative, and I'm taking out the only creative. There's going to be a huge void in the middle of the park with no one that can create for us. So no, I wouldn't re-sign him at that price. But
a gap. Because he's playing 3 games out of 10. He's playing 3 games in 10.
Yeah,
for those 3 games, he's absolutely brilliant. And we all go, oh, why are you letting him go? But when he's not in the team for another 6 weeks, he's injured. Somebody else has got to step up, and they've had to step up. So it's difficult to say our best ever player is going to be going out the door. And we all know if he could play 9 games out of 10, he'd be fit and he'd be staying, and we'd all be like, oh, this is amazing. Let him have another season. And then if he starts to get 3 out of 10, I mean, you start to understand that.
But this is my kind of.
We just can't carry somebody on that money and the hope that he's going to play more than 3 games out of 10. Just can't.
My thing with De Bruyne though is that I don't want him to be signed or given a new contract with the expectation that he does play 9 games out of 10. I want him to be signed with the expectation. I would sign him with the expectation that he's playing 5 out of 10 because that's why he's getting such great such
but
good
we can't have
because
someone play 5 out of 10 games on 400k a week.
I personally think that to some degree, if he's your greatest ever player, you can. Like I think there's just there is an element of just like a bit of a not a golden handshake, but you know what I mean. Like it's just like he's been there is some element, and I kind of understand this from De Bruyne's point of view, of I'm literally the greatest ever player this club's ever had. Like, one more year, why can you not just give me just another year on that? Like, is that too much to ask? And yeah, fair enough, maybe it is too much to ask, and that's why we've ultimately turned around and said no. But I mean, I completely, from an emotional, sentimental, he is my favourite ever player and I love him and I'd never ever want him to leave point of view, I don't give a fuck how much they pay him. It's not my money. Like, just give it to him. Like, I don't care. Like, if you think this club that have made this silly amount of like revenue, like net revenue, like transfer revenue in the last few years from selling academy players and stuff like that, cannot afford to give him a contract extension and sign Wirtz or Morgan Gibbs-White or whatever it is, then I don't.
But it's more than that, innit? Like, we can't expect us to sign like, people have been asking for 6 to 8 signings this season. We can't go and make 6 to 8 signings if we've still got De Bruyne sat on the bench, Grealish sat on the bench, Gundogan sat on the bench. The 3 of the highest paid players in the league. It's just not possible for us to keep those contracts going, to sit on the bench and then us still be able to make 8 signings.
There are players I would push out the door before De Bruyne, though. That's exactly the problem.
That's the argument, is that De Bruyne is arguably lowest on the priority list of letting players go, arguably so.
But he also makes the most money, and he also makes the most money. And so again, if you need to free up funds to be able to bring in a Wirtz at probably a very similar amount, then where's that money coming from? Because reality is the UEFA's PSR rules or whatever they're called, I don't know, but those rules say we can only have like 70% of our, 70% of our money can be spent on salary, basically. So yeah. And I think we're like 60+% already. So we're getting close to that number if we haven't already hit it. So you try to bring in Wirtz at 400,000 and don't also free up a good amount of money, it becomes a risk, because he's not the only player we're talking about bringing in. We're also talking about bringing others. Yeah.
But my thing is, we're basing this argument on he's our best player of all time. We're not basing it on this season. Based on this season, you can't keep him. Because think about it.
No, that's fair.
Kyle Walker is all 7 of us
best right back of all time.
Best Premier League right back of all time. But we're kicking him out. You have to be consistent.
Yeah, but he was literally costing us games on a regular basis. Like De Bruyne is not. I know that it's a different position, so it's not necessarily comparable.
He's unavailable. It's costing us job.
Best Premier League right back of all time.
He's one of the reasons why we've been playing half of this season with Gundogan and Kovacic in a midfield too, because he's not available to play. Is there? Like, this season should be the main reason now why we have to take sentiment out of the conversation, because this season has proved that we have failed massively because we've been too loyal to certain players when it's come to contracts and things like that. Like, we cannot make the same mistake again. But if there's ever a time to do it, it's now, and it needs to be done this summer.
But my problem with that is that the issue that I have with the sentimentality thing is that we've done it with. I mean, we did it with Walker. Obviously, Walker is kind of the one who I would say is the most comparable to De Bruyne in this sense, and that he was genuinely the greatest of his position, like ever, basically, as I believe De Bruyne is. But Walker, like, he was available a lot of the time, but as I say, he was literally costing us games. Like, having him in the team was like a net negative to the club. Full stop. Like, and for not just on the pitch reasons as well. Like, he was a net negative. Also, my biggest issue with the sort of the reason why we're shit this season is that the players who we've held on to for too long are bringing back Gundogan, which obviously we all fucking loved at the time when it happened, but bringing back Gundogan, like keeping a 30-plus-year-old Kovacic, keeping Bernardo when he's wanted out for 2 or 3 years. There are players like that where, they've wanted to, players have wanted to go, and we've kept them here. And I'm not saying that this means my argument is that I absolutely fully understand that we cannot just be sentimental and keep everybody that we love, but just this one. Like, it's Kevin De Bruyne, or just keep this one.
Right,
like,
Joe.
Let the other ones fuck off. Like,
would you keep Grealish as well then? Because I know how much you love him. Would you keep him as well?
I've literally said multiple times I would get rid of him. Like,
before De Bruyne.
Yes.
I'm proud of you, Joe. I'm really proud.
Because there's no way we can keep both of them.
I think like both. If obviously because of the wages factor, at least one of them needs to go in the summer. And if I'm picking one between Grealish or De Bruyne, because I'm just like I'm just speaking purely as a fan on emotions, and it's pissing me off the number of people in the chat who are talking about this like emotion just shouldn't exist in football. It's really doing my head in. Like I just think that like because I'm about the emotion and the fact that I love him and it's De Bruyne. I'm 100. I'm keeping him over all but maybe 2 or 3 players in that squad.
The thing is for me, bro, do I strike you as a sentimental kind of guy? I'm really not, to be honest with you. Yeah, I can get emotional, but like I'm not in this case. I'm not using emotion. For me, on his day, he still is the best player in this team, bro. So for me, context has to be used. Yeah, for me, you have to listen to what he's been saying as well. New evidence has come to the table. Is that he's been the first time pain-free in a very long time. For me, there's still life in the old legs, you know. And I think that's why it could be a mistake. Sentimentality aside, I don't care about that. He could still be the best player in the league next season, in my opinion, when he's fresh. I believe he might still have one more season in him.
And he's got better players around him, Steve. This is the thing for me. This is
my problem, bro.
I actually think the thing is as well about Kevin, and this is why I think it makes it difficult for the fans, is that if we forget the football side, if you're talking purely physically, I think he's looked the best he's looked all season physically in the last couple of
100%.
But the best he's looked all season is just one step up from being out and injured. Like it's nothing to compare it to.
It's much better than that. It's there's no like him earlier this season was genuinely he looked overweight. He didn't look great. He looked like he was sort of struggling to move around. He looked like he was cooked after 45 minutes of football. He looked absolutely now. He doesn't. Obviously, he's not looking like prime 2017 to 2021 Kevin De Bruyne or anything like. He's not looking like treble season Kevin De Bruyne.
He did in the last game.
He's not. But he doesn't look like Bernardo or Gundogan or like Kovacic has like a lot of this season. Like you know what I mean? Like if we're having some midfield surgery, I want to know that the ones who are absolutely shitter than Kevin De Bruyne are out the door first. That's what I want to know. And I think, look, if we get rid of Kevin De Bruyne and we're also getting rid of these players who I believe are worse than De Bruyne, sick. But we might not, and that's the problem. And that we could have.
I don't think we will.
The reality is though, but he's not. No, I'm going to say exactly what LB was about to say. I think, and that is that he's not being pushed out the door or being let go because he's not. He's still not good. He's not our best player. The reality is his contract is up. So now it's a decision. Do I give him do I extend his contract? Again, if he still had another year, nobody's kicking him out the door. Gundo, he bought himself another year by being available this season. And so no one's going to kick him out the door. Like I said, I don't think they will. But the reality is his contract just so happened to end, and we need to let someone go. It just so happens to be him.
400k a week. If he didn't want 400k a week, he'd be staying, in my opinion.
About his contract though, this is where I need context. I need to know how my club has spoke to him, because if my club have spoke to him like shit, like the way he's been portraying in the press, then I'm not happy. I'm not happy.
So I don't think he was saying that they were talking to him. I think it was just a matter of I think by the time they had a formal discussion, it was, we've made our mind up. We're just going to go a different direction. So there doesn't have to be a long conversation because hey, I'm just informing. I'm not at this point. We're not even negotiating. I'm just informing you that I'm letting you know. Again, I would love to see him stay for another year.
I need just to have a conversation, Tariq, bro. And he deserves a conversation.
The interesting thing is, the thing that I find interesting is I believe he's his own agent, if I'm correct.
Yeah.
So I would have expected him to be involved the entire way through. It's not like someone else is having conversations and he's coming back.
Tariq, bro.
I agree. That's what I'm saying.
I personally don't believe that one day they've not spoken. You think Kevin De Bruyne hasn't asked about the contracts?
And that's exactly what I'm saying, is that there have been conversations all the way throughout. Yeah, there's informal ones. I'm agree with you 100%.
And in my opinion, in them informal conversations, I think Kev's been saying, I want to stay. I think Kev really wants to stay, but I think Kev's been saying, I want the big cash still for one more year. And City have been like, all right, sound like we'll think about it. And then City have got back to him. They've sat him down in an office, as he said, and said, listen, thanks for everything you've done.
Well, in that case, then,
we're not going to give you the contract because he wants big money.
If that's the case, and it's the fact that he's not been available for enough of the season, that's the reason why he's getting rid of, then I want to see Stones go. I want to see Ake go. I want to see all these. I want Grealish gone. I want all these other players who are not available. I want Doku gone because he's not available.
No.
I want all these. Mate, his injury record's a problem. Like it's.
Come on,
No, mate. Right.
Let's relax.
Okay. Fucking hell. Let's remove King Doku then. Fucking hell. Right. Anyway.
Sorry, after the derby, we all came on here, and you cooked Doku for his cameo after the derby, right?
It was shit yesterday as well, mate. It was shit yesterday.
No, he wasn't shit yesterday.
He ran the ball, he ran the ball out of play and ran into defenders every time. But the free assist.
This agenda's well worse than my Diaz one, because and my Kovacic one, because this is crazy. There's no way that guy.
I cannot believe
we couldn't get out of our side of the pitch, and he was able to single-handedly dribble up the sideline.
I genuinely cannot fathom the glazing that this guy's been getting since the.
Again, he's not great. He's not great, but he's not as bad as you're making him out to be either, though.
Right,
if you cooked him for a bad cameo, you got to give him credit for a good cameo.
But I don't think yesterday was a good one. So anyway, like that's the point is that regardless,
is that an agenda?
It's absolutely an agenda. It is absolutely an agenda.
The point remains, right? The point I was going to make. The point I was going to make is that if Kevin De Bruyne is going, then I want to see every other injury-prone player in this squad who's missed a large part of the season gone as well. I want them all gone.
They all still have contracts.
I know, but then do what other clubs do and sell them. Like sell the
I'm
players.
Sure they'll try, but when their contract is up, it won't be back. Pep said he's looking for people that can play 3 games a week. We need people that are available for 3 games a week, because that's the kind of that's the schedule that we play. We're saying that KDB has been, and again, I feel like I don't want to come across like I'm coming at KDB because I love him, but the reality is he's been decent right now. But we're playing 1 game a week, and that's not realistic for us next season.
But he doesn't have to play every game that we play when we're doing 3 games a week. That's my point.
But he's your highest paid player, with the exception of Haaland.
He's our greatest ever player.
Joe. But you has to be available if you're going to pay him that much.
Right. Joe, he is our greatest ever player for what he's done for over the year. But you have to take the last 2 years as like what we're going to base what it's going to look like next season. And unfortunately, that's not looks like it has been in the past, in the treble year, in the seasons before that. That's the sample size that we've got to go off, unfortunately, because it's the most that's at the age that he's at now, haven't you? You've got to look at him and how he's been recently. So what that's looked like the last 2 seasons is that he can't even play 50% of the games.
Jay, you're spot on, bro. Yeah, Jay, you're spot on. Yeah, but I need to know, Jay. Yeah. How long has this hernia been an issue? Because this hernia is a new situation that we've heard about.
I think probably he's been free for about a month and a half. But Joe, the fact is, if Kev was willing to take a lower wage, he'd still be at the football club next year.
I agree. And that's ultimately on him if that was there for him.
But by the way, which is absolutely fine, because he's more than entitled to demand.
I agree.
I just need to know how my club has spoken to him, what the negotiations were. I need to know details, because if they've not negotiated, if they've not spoke to him, if they haven't tried, then for me, I'm not happy. Can we
also acknowledge as well that like he missed the first 4 or 5 months of last season because Pep rushed him back from a hamstring injury in the Champions League final, and he did his hamstring again and needed surgery on it. Like that's not Pep's fault. That's Pep's fault for fucking rushing him back.
And we appreciate him for that sacrifice.
You can't make excuses for KDB's injury. Then the first sentence on Doku is you got to let him go. He gets injured all the time. You got to hold 2 players to the same standards. It doesn't make sense to me.
We also don't know who was involved in that KDB. Why did he not get the surgery after the Champions League final decision?
Yeah, absolutely.
It might have been him.
It would have
been him begging to play the final as well, won't it? I don't think that would have been You really going to tell Kevin De Bruyne he's not going to play the Champions League final?
The Champions League final injury, I have no problem with that. Like he's got to play the Champions League final. It's look at him like it's Kevin De Bruyne, but like I think rushing him back against Burnley 2 months later, probably not the wisest move on the planet, is it? Like and
overplaying him as well. For example, you remember when we overplayed him, played him in the Champions League, and he got injured in the Champions League.
That first game against Inter Milan, I said don't play him in that. I remember
play him in that game, man.
In the preview, I said do not play Kev. Do not play Kev. Do not play. Played him injured half time. Listen, let me have a look at the chat. There has been a live poll in the chat. Obviously, this is obviously a touchy subject because our greatest ever player, and people obviously have strong views on it. I honestly, not just to sit on the fence. I don't know what I would do in that situation. I don't know whether I'd keep him or not. If you can get me Wirtz, I'd probably let him go. But if you can't get me Wirtz, I think that it's a mad decision personally. But do you have to let the KDB go to try and get that? I don't know. But listen, the poll have been voting. The question was quite simple. Would you keep KDB on 400?
That was a Saeed quote.
Listen, there's been quite one-sided. 75% of the chat are saying they would not keep Kevin De Bruyne on 400 grand a week. Only 25% of people in the chat are saying they would keep him. So, yeah, the majority of City fans are saying, nah.
Conclusive.
There's not one single person in this chat.
Conclusive, you know.
Chat room, right, that are going to say that they wouldn't want to keep KDB if you can get out of him what we've had. For the last
everyone would love him to stay.
Yeah,
in the right circumstances.
It's come down to a stone cold business decision. And look at where we are and what our club's been built on. He's on stone cold business. And City will stand on it. The guys that have the money and the spreadsheets and all the data have just said, it's not for us. Thanks, but no thanks.
Bro, if we win the FA Cup and I can see that guy lift the trophy at Wembley with the FA Cup, I'll be like,
perfect way for him to go out. Yeah,
and the reason it's kind of come out now, like this last few weeks that he's leaving, is he deserves that respect. He deserves that send off. Would you want him to get to like 2 weeks before the end of the season and we say he's fucked off and he's got one game left on a Tuesday on a Friday night that no one can get to? You know, they've given him a bit of dignity and say he can go. We'll move on. We'll just have to pull the plaster off. It's going to be a fucking horrible pull. It's going to be a slow one that's going to sting, especially when you see him having a run out for another team because it's going to happen. But at the end of the day, it's stone cold business, and we're built on business, and we do shit right, and we just got to move on, man. And the king is dead. Long live the king.
Listen, let me do this super chat, and then we'll talk about some transfer talks. Smash these likes up as well, people. Come on, man. 800 people in the building. Let's get these likes up. Make sure you guys are sub to the channel as well if you're new. Shout out Idiot again. Says Pep needs to adapt when his tactics aren't working. He needs to put his pride aside at times and just go to basics and try our youngsters. If it doesn't work, then fair dues. But give it you, bro. This is what I've been saying for like the last 6 months, man. I was sat there in October saying get O'Reilly, get McAtee in the team, man. You know what I mean?
The fact that O'Reilly's been sat on our bench for like 75% of this season is a joke.
It's physical as well, ridiculous. So it makes more sense.
I feel like we'd have another 6 to 9 points if we played him more this season.
Facts, I agree.
Probably, yeah.
I agree.
Could have been worse than fucking the
crashing the box as well, man. From left back, we've not even seen that.
I was so impressed with him getting in the box. I know people are like, "What you're on about?" But like, he's young and he could have been hiding. He could have just been sitting on the edge.
His movement was fucking quality as well. You know,
he ran across the goalkeeper near post.
Yeah, exactly. He ran across.
Got the near post run.
Yeah, which no one's been doing all year.
It ends with the goal, Tariq. Wow.
Yeah,
it's almost as if like we've been saying this for the last 6 months, man. Near post run drillers, get it, I can make it happen more, man. But yeah, facts. He played well, man. He played well. Listen, we've been linked with a couple of players, and one of the players I think sounds like it's probably going to happen. And again, feels like everything that happens at this football club at the moment divides the fan base quite a lot. So I don't know why. I genuinely don't know where you guys, other than Paul, because I rang him the other day. Morgan Gibbs White, lads. Danny, let me start with you. Probably going to be around 70 to 85 million is where the sort of fee I'd imagine it to be. It splits City fans. Some are saying it's a terrible decision. Some are saying it's a great move, fits our system perfectly. Where are you on it, bro?
I don't hate it, but I do hate it for the price. I think he's a good player. I think the outrage is a lot because of the discussion we've just had and the fact that we've had Verts dangled in front of our faces for months now. I don't think he's bad, but I do think he's a secondary option in comparison to who we're getting rid of and who else we've been linked to. I think it's fine if you don't make him shoulder a lot of creative duties because he doesn't have a lot of experience playing against the sort of defensive structures we do. If he plays as an 8, if he gets
that's a big point, Danny.
Yeah. It's difficult because whenever I look at a player, I just say, can he fit into our system? And as good as I think Gibbs White is, it's just Nuno and Pep. It's so different. And you see it whenever we play against Nuno. He's beaten Pep so many times because he plays so differently. He knows how to cancel him out. So I'm not sure about it. Like I said a couple days ago, and also in the watch along, I don't think the club's going to burn down if we sign him. But again, if he comes in on his own, then I will have some
100 million's crazy though, isn't it?
Mate.
I think it'll be 70 to 85. Yeah. He's got 2 years left on his deal. You know what? It wouldn't surprise me if he's got a release clause in his contract.
Maybe. I think 85 is fucking crazy. I think
surely a release clause would be made public by now as well.
It wasn't with Grealish, was it? Until we did it. Like, it was just one of them where, like, it was kind of a secret release clause that no one should have known about it.
Yeah, they were telling us for time there was no release clause in his contract until we activated it.
Yeah.
There might be a release clause, Champions League club release clause. They just didn't imagine they'd be in the Champions League at the same time.
To be fair, he might have a relegation release clause as well. Like, if they were good, you know what I mean? Like, potentially, if they were going to get relegated.
Yeah. Before this year, you probably.
Yeah.
My thing with Gibbs White is it's just like, I think it's like Danny said there. It's just like when you hear that Kevin De Bruyne is going, like, that's shit. and then when you hear that we're going to get him replaced with Wirtz, you go, all right, well, I can take that. Like, if we're going to lose him and we're going to get Wirtz in, then sick. But then when you hear that you're going to lose De Bruyne and you're going to gain Morgan Gibbs-White, then you're like, well, this is
that's not the right replacement at all.
No, I mean, he's not. Look, his numbers are like a pretty meh. So like, he's not doing anything that's like, he's not replacing what Kevin De Bruyne brings numerically to the team. I don't think his chance creation stats have ever been that excessively high, so he's not going to do that either. He plays he's thriving currently, much like Nunez was at Wolves, in a system where it's counter-attacking and he's got like a lot of open space in front of him a lot of the time. Again, we're not dealing with that. Like, I think there are legitimate reasons why you can have some I think he's a great player, and as Danny said, if we sign him, it's not going to be the end. He's going to be good. Like, it's not going to be. I'm not concerned that he will be a shit player for us. I just don't necessarily think that he's. I don't. Him and Wirtz just seem like two like very different players.
Yeah, but I agree with some of the guys in the chat though, Joe. I don't think he's the Wirtz alternative. I think he's the Gundogan 8 or the. Yeah. I think he's going to be the 8. I think it's going to be Rodri, him, and then the creative player.
Yeah, but then who the fuck's a creative player then? Because we need one. Like, this is the thing.
Like, Wirtz is obviously the main target, and then if we don't get Wirtz, who knows? It could be Foden in there. It could be Echeverri. It could be Simmons. It could be Sudikoff.
Yeah. You know what my thing is? Well, be if you want to bring this guy in as a number 8, yeah, I'm not sure he can do that long term. You know, this guy's only 5'7". You know.
I was really shocked when I seen that, Steve, you know, because I always thought that he was quite a physical player.
Yeah, you thought I was.
But then when I checked it, it's 5'7", isn't it? Which is crazy, you know.
5'7".
You want this guy to run my midfield as a number 8. I want you to be like 5'10" at minimum. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Physical, yeah.
Like,
yeah, but he's physical. He's just not tall, isn't it?
I don't know, man. How can you? How physical can you be at 5'7"? How physical can you be?
De Jong was 5'7".
I have a problem with his physicality. I think he's quite a physical player. My question is, like, it's got to be the 8. He can't be the creator, because if he's the creator, then we are.
Let me tell you now. I want another 8 than him. I'm sorry. I don't want him running my midfield, bro.
But I'm wondering what Pulpy's got to say, you know, because I know Pulpy likes him.
I really want Reinders.
But Steve,
I see what he offers, isn't it? He offers physicality, tenacity, aggression. I like it. I like them things because we don't have them things, right? We don't have them qualities.
See what you mean, because he's very good for Forest, and I see people who say I rate him at Wolves too. The common denominator between Forest now and Wolves then, Nuno Espirito Santo. So
exactly, it's a system player, isn't it?
That's what I'm about to say. He might be a system player.
Because was Gibbs-White that good before Nuno came in as well? Because these guys were in a relegation battle, not like 2 seasons.
Yeah, but he was. Yeah, but Gibbs-White was like 18 at the time. Like,
here's a real question for you. Has this guy been that much better than Nunez was at Wolves? Because Nunez was.
No, I think they're probably similar. Like, what you're going to get with him, you're going to get someone who's quite physical and quick and can carry the ball well, like Nunez can. But when it comes down to playing against a low block where you need to unlock a defense and do all these little intricate things, they don't necessarily suit that kind of play, do they? So that would be my worry with him, because he thrives in a game where he's got lots of space to run into, be able to hit people on the counter attack, and he's just not going to get that at City, is he? Like, don't get me wrong, he could be a decent enough option, but if we're going to pay the big bucks like that, man, then I'm not sure.
I want someone who's. Go on.
That's what I hear from Pulpy, because Pulpy.
Yeah, because Pulpy likes him.
I've already started the defence league for Morgan Gibbs-White, so memberships are welcome. For me, right, the big issue is everyone is upset about it because they feel like this guy's a priority over Wirtz, and they don't realise that some deals take some finesse. We've had deals that have took months and months and months. Because Gibbs-White can be done in through the door and get him in, and he comes in and he gives us the one thing that we've missed. We've always sat here all season going, we've got fucking crabs playing midfield. They're all slow. We've got no one can run. They've got no legs. Gibbs-White is young. He's 25. He can run. He has got an engine. He's got stamina. Yeah, he's not setting a world of light with 25 goals and assists all season and stuff. But if he wasn't playing for Forest, if he was South American or Spanish or something like that, people would be having hard-ons about him all day long.
Nah, what are his qualities though, bro? He's not got mad qualities.
He
said himself he can run. Well done. Nunez can run.
There's been other players, Steve. There's hundreds of players that have been signed in the Premier League by teams that are doing in the top 3 and 4 that have been teams that you wouldn't even look down your nose at and say, what the fucking signing players that for? And they go on and have cracking careers. You know what I mean? My comparison to this is look at Michael Carrick. When United were on top and they signed Carrick from Spurs, Spurs were wank. And Carrick was just a sick Bob Barlow in midfield. They weren't doing anything.
A lot of people downplayed that transfer when he joined, didn't they? They were like,
exactly.
What the fuck are they signing him for?
Gibbs White come in at 25, who's on the cusp of the international team. You know, his engines are kicking in the Premier League. He's actually balling. He took the piss out of us. You know, he's going to want to go to the next level. He's going to what chest out. I'm going to the Premier League. I'm going to a Champions League team here. I can play in Europe every week. I'm playing with players like this. I'm playing with one of the best. Phil Foden's his best mate.
His best mates.
He's getting up goals for Haaland. You know what I mean? He's got a solid defense around him. He's got a manager that's going to trust him to get on the ball and do things. To turn your nose up at these sort of plays is just absolute elitist bullshit from people.
I think there's lots of examples of it going wrong though as well, Paul.
Yeah.
Like if you look at some of the players we've played that we've signed from similar teams, like Calvin Phillips, like Nunes.
If we get 7 out of 10 right, we're doing well, mate. We're doing better than the other teams.
Yeah, but we're spending 85. We're spending.
And he'll do well somewhere else. We don't sign for us, and we'll be like, "Oh, fucking there's one that's got."
Yeah, but the thing is, we're potentially looking at spending 70 to 80 million on this guy. I don't want
on a potential another Calvin Phillips.
We sign him. We get 8 years out of him. At 75.
Yeah, that's fine if it works out. Yeah, if it works out, that's not a problem. I don't care if it works out, but if it doesn't, we get another.
We'll pull our pants up and we'll sell him money 2 years time for 50 mil, and we'll move on.
I need Reinders,
man. Calvin Phillips has proved that you cannot do that. Like
but Calvin Phillips is one of those. We get 7 out of 10 right. He's one of the 3 that doesn't, and everyone's got PTSD about.
We're getting 7 out of 10 wrong though, Pulpy, mate.
We usually get about 7 out of 10 right. Other teams get 4 out of 10. Look at United to get 2 out of 10. Chelsea.
The problem is though we haven't made
Why is everyone like? All this
hatred
about signing Gibbs White
because we haven't done it in the midfield. We haven't the midfielders that we bought
just
recently
not been good enough. Yeah,
have been Calvin Phillips.
We bought Gareth Barry. We bought James Milner today with some similar plays.
Pulpit, please. Can you hear me out, Pulpit, before you come back? Like with the players that we've bought recently, and I mean recently, is in the last 5 or 6 years, midfield wise, Rodri. Perfect. Like nothing bad to say about Rodri at all. Calvin Phillips.
In his first season.
Yeah, I know, but he's been mint. Yeah, correct. But he's mint. But he's mint. It's fine. It's all good. Anyway, like Calvin Phillips, dog shit. Kovacic, I think he's fine. I think he's fine, but the jury's out, and like ultimately, like he's not like been an elite player. Nunes 60 mil.
Right
shit. Move to right back.
That was a panic buy, though. To be fair,
that's one of the 3 out of 10.
Absolutely. So that's 3 out of 4. That's 3 out of 4 midfield signings.
We don't just sign 10 midfielders a season. You're saying 3. We've signed players in the last 10 years. The last 10 years. Look at the ones we've got right. There's been a lot of we've got right. You signed 3 that aren't, and then
Fernandinho, De Bruyne. Fernandinho and KDB are the 2 we've got right, really, in the last 10 years.
Yeah,
on Gundogan.
Well, I think that's a way.
Gundogan. Sorry, yeah.
There's other players in the midfield.
Bad midfield side. Javi Garcia, Rodwell, Fernando.
Oh, you go way back.
Rodwell. We can't go back like 50 years, isn't it?
I'm talking Pep time, like the time in the Pep time.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, KDB was technically before Pep, but we all know that he probably had something to do with it. So look, you got KDB, then you've got, as I say, you've got Gundogan, great, Rodri, great, and then you've got. That's it. Those are the only 3. Those are the 3 good midfield signings. Those are the good 3 midfield signings we've made, and you can count them with 3 shit ones.
Yeah, but
so I'm not.
Well, but there's a lot. That, I mean, because
it's not always midfielders. It's
I think the fee's the problem for me. Yeah, is like you could have got
the fees crazy
for 100 million last summer. He was legitimately, in my opinion, world class player. And now you're going to spend 20 million less on Gibbs White, and that
I don't want doubts, bro.
Player. I actually don't mind the guy. I think he's okay. Yeah. For me, the fee's just going to be mad.
This is the thing,
man. English tax, it's Englishman tax, it's homegrown tax. Everyone's going to pay it. It's not just us. Everyone's not.
We don't have to pay it.
Let him.
But who else are you going to buy for that money? We need homegrown players, man.
Go and get all our Reinders for 15 million at right back as a squad.
Man. 15 million, you get him for nothing, mate.
Well, he's got 1 year.
No, we can't. Sorry, we can't have just had. We can't have just had the conversation about KDB and all that money being spent and wasted, and then we're talking about 85 mil on Morgan Gibbs White. Like it's just we have to do it because he's English. Like it's just. Are we looking at cost savings here or not?
Would you pay 60 million quid for Gibbs White?
I'll give you 50.
In the context of us having paid 60 for Nunes,
you're adding 30% tax on, which everybody pays.
Right, so
I think.
Let's say he's worth 30 then, and then I'll add you 30%.
He's not worth 30 because they paid 44 for him. So
I don't care what they paid, bro. It's how I rate him, innit?
Take the price out of it. Forget the price. Pretend that every single player that we sign forever is free. Would you take Morgan Gibbs White next season?
I'd take him. But not for but
no,
I'd take the price though. But you can't take the price out of it though.
Yeah, you can't take the price out of it.
You would take him as a squad player.
Squad player.
He's going to be a squad player. We
difference.
need legs. We need young players. We need players who are going to be there.
I'm not spending 85 mil on a squad player.
Yeah, no.
That's the point.
I agree with Joe.
That's the point.
85 mil on a squad player when you can get a bunch of other English squad players. You get 2 or 3 for that same price.
Well, the thing is, I don't think he will be a squad player though. Obviously, he's coming in.
No, I know.
Yeah. You'd imagine that Pep's giving this the okay because one thing that has to happen now is we cannot sign another midfielder unless Pep gives it the thumbs up. Because obviously,
Pep's seen him and fancies him. And he's
he's got. I think he's a good player.
Nunes too. He gave Nunes the thumbs up too. I mean, what are we saying?
Yeah, but I don't think he really did. I think he did that like a year ago when we played him. I think when the signing happened, I don't obviously.
It was probably a case of Cheeky approached him on deadline day and went, "Look, it's this guy, or you going into the season with no midfielder, like what you have in." I think. Look, I think I absolutely fully accept that he's a good player. My problem here isn't that Morgan Gibbs White isn't a good footballer. He very obviously is, and I'd be happy to see us sign him if it were not for the amount of money that's being talked about. And I know that you want us to remove that from the decision, from whether we'd be happy with it or not. But we just had a big discussion. Yeah. We just had a big discussion about how we're not giving Kevin De Bruyne 400 grand a week. So we literally cannot do that when it comes to this. Like we've got a big but it's the money. It's the money.
Get 8 years out of him at 80 million quid, mate. It's 10 million a year.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, no.
They're the sort of deals we do. Mate, we've done them.
No, but you're misunderstanding. You're misunderstanding the point that I'm making. The point that I'm making is that the point that I'm making is that the money does matter. Like it matters if he's shit, and that's unfortunately that's a problem because
that's what Grealish. That's what's done Grealish over in it for the last 5 years. People will always talk about his price tag, and you just can't avoid it. Unfortunately,
if Grealish had been one of the
United for Mason Mount
60,
70 mil.
So you're telling me now that is Gibbs White better than Mason Mount?
No, Mason Mount.
They regret paying that much for Mason Mount.
It's probably similar, but Mason Mount had just come off winning the Champions League and doing all these things.
Is he better than him now?
I think he's better than Mount.
I believe so, yeah.
3 years ago.
Well, who would add more appearances for England?
United buying players for stupid money doesn't mean that we have to do it.
Exactly. No, Joe, I agree with Joe.
How much do you think Wharton's worth?
40 million.
What's that? Sorry, how much is
Wharton worth?
40.
Big up
40-ish.
Crystal Palace are going to want 80 million for him. How much are Crystal Palace going to Gerrard?
Crystal Palace for
55 million.
You know what I mean?
Prices are high for English players, man. They are.
That's fine, but
that's why I personally
we've got to be able to tell him to go.
If it was me, I don't mind it. I think he's all right, and the fact he's coming, I'm not losing my shit over it. Yeah, but if it was me, I'd rather go and put 100 down for Bruno G. Yeah, I'll get a proper serious fucking baller. And go if you want a squad rotator, go and get me on Aina. Squad rotator right back. He's homegrown, 15 million quid. He's got 1 year left in his contract. Happy days, done. There's your homegrown player.
We can't say no.
Morgan Rogers. Go get Morgan Rogers.
We can't say no to paying an extra 10 million for Declan Rice and not going over 100, and then 2 years later go and sign Morgan Gibbs White for the same price. It just makes no fucking sense.
This is where I'm a little bit like, I struggle because when I actually just look in isolation, I don't mind Gibbs White. I think he's all right.
Yeah,
where
absolutely.
I'm getting a little bit, it's like a little bit frustrated is like, this club decided to pull out the deal for Rice over 5-10 million. They said last year 100 mil was too much for Bruno G, who's a fucking baller.
And now they're talking about 100 mil for Gibbs White.
Like, don't quite make sense to me, and that's why I'm a little bit like, but I don't mind him. I think he's an okay player, but I think it's going to happen.
This is the thing, though, man. Have you heard what you're saying, bro? You're saying you think he's okay. I want guys coming in, certified guys where I'm comfortable with.
Okay, it's not enough.
That's what I mean, man. I've got okay players. I've got Kovacic. I've got Bernardo.
We talked before about City have to make like a statement in this window, and Morgan Gibbs White isn't a statement. Like
he's just a piece.
If it's him and Wirtz, cool. Like City have basically just replaced their midfield in the window.
Well, here's the thing, right? You can't just sit and wait around all day for Wirtz to come through and then start pissing on others.
No.
We've just talked before about how we need somebody for the summer. Just coming straight in. Tarek mentioned it about having someone for the Club World Cup. Get him in. He's playing. He's fit. That's fit fine. Every week. Get him in, and then you can get the other players. If Gibbs White had been the third player signed this season, if the season's over and it's mad, all this is mad. If it had been a third signing, if we'd have got Verts and we'd got a right back or something, we'd been, we're cooking now. And Gibbs White comes in, you're thinking, oh mate, bring him in. Come on, baby, come. Get him in, get him in.
Maybe you might actually be right
because he's the first one. Everyone's
the first one. We're panicking because we're losing KDB and we're hearing all this negative news about Verts and that, and we're shitting ourselves. That's what's happening.
I do think there's an element there of Pulpy being like, because he's the first guy. He might be the deal that's like, say, closest to being done. That might be the way that it is, and I think that probably does play a part in it. But I think you may be right that if we'd have signed him third and we'd have gone like, we'd have done Verts already and we'd have signed like Cambiasso or something, and now Morgan Gibbs White coming in. Maybe if it was 80 mil for Morgan Gibbs White at that point, maybe I wouldn't give a shit. Maybe I'd just
we were
like,
desperate.
It, who cares?
Well,
I also do think a little bit. We can't if we're not going to remove the money situation from the De Bruyne thing, then we got to keep it consistent for this. And 85 mil for Morgan Gibbs White, whether we like him or not, is fucking ridiculous. Like, and obviously Forest are in a very good negotiating position because they've just got the Champions League. They've got absolutely no reason to sell him.
Not yet.
He's probably
I think they're falling out.
His contract though. 2 years left.
I don't think they'll get it.
We got my final thing.
If they don't get it, then if they don't get it, then the bargaining chip weaken's done it. But if they do, let's say somehow they do manage to do that, and they've got every right to ask for 100 mil, unless he's got some kind of release clause. Because
my final thing on it is right. Look at the players you signed. When we signed De Bruyne for 57 million it was, we got rinsed and said the fucking price is ridiculous. We got rinsed. When we paid 50 mil for Karl Walker, everyone was like, "Fucking hell, what are you paying that for?" We paid 60 million for Rodri.
These aren't comparable.
No, at the time when you paid it was higher than what they were. Everyone's like, "You can't fucking pay that."
KDB was Bundesliga Player of the Year.
What I'm saying is, that was a massive price on what other people were saying was probably worth.
It was, Pulpy, but you knew, Pulpy, when you was buying Walker and De Bruyne, you knew you was getting top.
You knew you're getting a baller, bro.
Yeah.
What I'm saying
is, with Gibbs White, you don't know what's going to happen.
Walker had won like a young player of the season in the Premiership.
Slamming it at Spurs, man, and fucking KDB was just tearing it up in the Bundesliga. These were top talents.
It's the price, man. It's the price that's killing people. It really is.
I think it's definitely the price. I'm sure it is absolutely the price. My only other thing that I would say is, well, again, am I somebody that watches a ton of Morgan Gibbs White? No. So it is what it is. But that being said, so we have Nico O'Reilly, and we're playing him at left back because we don't have a left back, and we get him on the pitch, and he performs when he's on the pitch. But we know he's a midfielder. Mm-hmm. Would you say that Morgan Gibbs White is just so much better than what Nico O'Reilly can be in? Because again, he's 5 years older. So probably not. I don't know that I would pay for Morgan Gibbs White at all. I would just say, you know what? I've got Nico O'Reilly here, and I just trust this kid to come through and be what Morgan Gibbs White is, or better. So I wouldn't buy him at all. I would just say, you know what? He's younger, he's less experienced, and I have to give him some. I have to have some patience with him. But I would rather see us do that, keep that money, and go do something else. Because at the end of the day, Nico O'Reilly has to play, and we should not be shuttling him out to the left back position just because we will refuse to go buy a regular left back. And if we do, then it limits his ability to come through. We have seen that this kid is, I'm going to say all world, and that's probably overkill. It's probably a little overstating it, but this kid has all the potential in the world. I want to get people out of his way for him to come through as opposed to putting people in his way. And Morgan Gibbs White feels like I'm putting somebody in and blocking his path. I don't want to do that.
Yeah,
I agree with you, Terry, mate. I agree with you. I'm all for that, but I don't think
whether Pep will do that as well, innit?
Nobody in this fan base right now is ready for the reality that you put O'Reilly in midfield and he doesn't play very well. And if you're hanging your hat on him next year with Satsoff getting Morgan Gibbs White or another one with actually putting O'Reilly in there and he doesn't go up to the standards.
Because everyone thought Rico Lewis was this guy, didn't they? A year or two ago.
But the difference between, and I agree, we thought that Rico Lewis could potentially make that transition from playing at right back into midfield, but he doesn't have the physical stature that Nico O'Reilly is.
6'4" monster,
this dude is physically built for that.
He's unproven, mate, and I just don't think right now.
Agreed. He's unproven, and he will remain unproven. He will remain unproven until we give him opportunities. The only way for him to become proven is to get a chance.
I think
O'Reilly's kind of like position where he should be coming in to take the like the Kovacic like 4th, 5th choice midfield spot rather than being the. And I think that obviously we need to sign as has been mentioned in the chat here and as we were talking about before. We're in a summer now where we need to sign 1, 2, 3 midfield players. Like we need the midfield 3 kind of play. And I can absolutely I can buy the argument that Morgan Gibbs-White is an improvement on what we currently have in midfield,
100%.
and we should sign him.
But no argument there. No argument there.
That is as simple as that. However, there is also the argument that we've been having for the last 10 minutes or so that he's A, is he good enough? Is he gonna B, will he fit our system? And C, is he worth 85 million? And the answer to that is
you know what? Let's make this easier, yeah. Let's fuck the price off, yeah. Because at the end of the day, it's not our money, yeah. Is Gibbs-White
KDB then?
Yeah, no. Let's just do it on this play, yeah. Morgan Gibbs-White, yeah. Fuck the money. It's not our money, yeah. Is this guy good enough to come in and play 8 next year?
Not to start, in my opinion. Not to start. I think he'd be a rotation, good rotation player.
Rotation. I cannot have him on European night.
All right, Pulpit.
He improves our squad massively.
Can he start?
Massive.
As a politician's answer.
I don't know, mate. I don't know. I'd have him in around the first team. Yeah.
All right, Joe.
No.
Tarek.
I think he is better than what we have. And the only caveat there is I'm not sure what we have from Nico G in that position. So it would be him or Nico G as that would start from what we have right now. But I would prefer we brought in someone else.
All right, Steve, what are you saying?
I want a better player starting in my team.
Yeah. That's my point of view, basically. I'm fine with him. I'm fine with us having him in the squad and him being one of the players.
Fine, yeah.
But if I want a champion, but my Champions League final starting 11 cannot have Morgan Gibbs-White in it. Like it's
at this moment in time. Yeah.
At this, currently, yeah. Obviously, who knows how he ends up if we do sign him. But
I'll tell you one thing I will end on this topic. Yeah, is I've seen enough in Gibbs-White. Yeah, this is a very positive ending of this topic. I've seen enough in Gibbs-White where I could potentially see this guy go levels. Yeah. But I don't. That's not a guarantee.
Yeah.
And this summer we need starters going.
He was unbelievable.
Isn't
this a story of all our recent transfer windows? He could be good. If all lines up, he could be good. Sevilla,
we need someone who is good.
Sevilla could be very good. One Premier League goal. Doku could be great. Can't cross the ball.
No. Doku's great, man.
Don't do it, Danny. Don't kick that hornet's nest.
Let me do these super chats. Hey guys, smash these likes up.
You made me fall out my chair before, Joe, man.
Get these likes up, people. If not done, sorry, man. Shout out to brother Teresa says Alonso going Madrid is making the Wirtz deal even more difficult.
Yeah, that's true.
Has this not basically been like? Have we not already kind of like semi-known this all season? Alonso going to Madrid has been like telegrammed for like a long time. Like.
Yeah. We don't know whether it would have been next season though until they went out of the Champions League. Did they?
Yeah, did an Ancelotti.
We need it to be Klopp, really, don't we?
Obviously,
I did.
But last week, I didn't think Wirtz was going to go Real Madrid at all. But since Ancelotti said he's leaving, well, not said it, but like since it's been announced that he's leaving, and it looks like Alonso's going there. Then Bild reported yesterday that Wirtz apparently, is interested in going to Madrid. I think the problem Madrid have got is they've got to let players go.
Yeah, I'm so confused how he fits in their team. And they've got Jude Bellingham, they've got Rodrigo, Vinicius Jr. and Mbappe. Like,
because he's better than all of them, mate. That's how.
I'll tell you what we should do. Yeah, whoever Real Madrid decide to sell to get Wirtz, we need to be getting that guy.
Oh, I'm not having their dregs though. Either.
Is that not a bit United for us to just be signing these?
I'm not hanging my hat on Real Madrid's dregs, man. Like because at the end of the day, we're gonna get rid of the shittest one.
If it's Camavinga's, surely Camavinga's not directing. Camavinga's not competing with Wirtz for
no, but Camavinga would be competing with Jude Bellingham once Jude moves back to allow Wirtz to be there.
Yeah, I think Tchouameni's going to be their long-term 6. Jude Bellingham will be like the 8, or they'll probably play him as a 10 basically, and Wirtz would play next to him. So that means Camavinga's out the side as a starter.
I'd take Camavinga or Valverde, either of them two. Yeah,
I'd take Valverde.
It's never going to be Valverde, is it? So you've got no choice.
I still don't see Wirtz going Madrid, man. I'm sorry. I
don't.
You're in dreamland, you bro.
If you're virtually looking at that, right, you're seeing like the fact that they've got 3 left wingers all trying to play up front, and the disharmony there, and the fact that Bellingham's a bit of a dickhead.
Dysfunction.
Bellingham's a dickhead. Vinny's a dickhead.
They're all dickheads, aren't they? It's not working there.
Mate, they have done what PSG did. They bought 3 players, and their egos stink.
And this
I'm
is
not
wrong.
sure. I'm not sure Alonso even goes in and like fixes that. You know, like it's
They
just
might get rid of. They might end up getting rid of one of those big
years.
three. You know, if
I
it's not working with them
disagree.
three,
I disagree.
Yo,
they might end up
get me
getting rid
Mbappe,
of.
man. Get me
Vinny
Mbappe.
Junior might end up in Saudi, man, next year if
I
he
don't want
carries on the
Mbappe
way he's
anywhere near
going.
this club.
Because he's been
Bro, I'll
fucking
take
terrible.
Mbappe, Joe. Come on, man.
Nah,
I'll take
fuck
Mbappe.
What are you drinking, man?
As a player, yes, you would,
Mbappe-
but just all the things that he comes with, the attitude,
and
the mentality,
it's too much baggage.
that would
Don't
be,
need it.
that's contagious. If you just told me just go on the pitch and play, yeah, sure, but it's all the others. And then I mean,
Did you
even
see that?
tracking back, can you imagine him not
You man are
tracking back?
talking mad. For me.
Did you see that? Did you see that? I can't. I don't know. Someone retweeted it before, but it's a clip from. It's a clip from some kind of documentary of PSG with Luis Enrique was there, and he's talking about Mbappe, and basically saying that the guy is just like the laziest prick on the planet, and like does absolutely no sort of tracking back. And because he scores goals, no one demands more from him. But ultimately, like he needs to do more, which is why he doesn't fit into what Luis Enrique wants. Do you think?
You know what it is for me, though?
Right with that?
You can afford to have that one guy, yeah.
Messi
got it,
did it, didn't
Maybe
he,
got
for
the
years?
attitude.
Messi
but
delivered.
He's going to score you 30 goals a season. You know what I'm saying? You can afford to have one of them guys.
Yeah, but we've already got Haaland, who's not the most like impactful player on the planet. Like, imagine if you got him and Mbappe on the pitch at the same time.
Mbappe's the
both
one
doing
player
nothing.
out there that would come last. I'd rather have Rodrigo and Vinny.
Nah, LB, man.
Fuck off, LB. You'd have Rodrigo over Mbappe. You are off your head, mate. What is
I
this
wouldn't.
thing?
I'm alright with that. That's
This
fine.
is
I'll take it.
You man are crazy, bro.
Rodrigo over World Cup winning Mbappe. Are you on drugs, man? What?
Mate, it's not FIFA. It's not FIFA, mate. Mbappe comes with a lot
What
of
do you mean
shit.
it's not
like,
FIFA, bro?
Oh,
I'm
come on,
mate.
man.
I'd rather have honestly. I'd rather have
Rodrigo over
You're lying to
Mbappe.
yourselves.
Rodrigo's got
Yourselves.
5 goals this year for Real Madrid.
What,
Five
Mbappe's
fucking
27,
goals.
yeah, and he's still not under UCL, mate. They got rid of him at
Ooh.
PSG, and now
Whoa.
he's doing shit at
Whoa,
Oh, man,
fucking
you
hell.
are mad.
He's not won the Champions League. Oh, he's shit.
But is it
I-
possible that he's the
never
reason
won.
they're not winning the Champions League?
I
No,
just
it's
don't
not.
think he's
No,
a
it's
very,
not
like,
possible,
suited
Tariq, man.
Football,
Okay.
like,
He's,
Do you
he's
remember?
the
Do you
best
remember when we
player.
played?
He's the best
Do
player,
you guys
bro.
remember? Do you guys not remember when we played PSG last year and Mbappe and their front three?
What about Monaco?
Fuck all
What about Monaco?
No, yeah,
When
what
he
we were
torn us an
17,
arsehole.
sick. That's 10 years ago. Like
Yeah,
we were
he's
talking
still,
about, like
he's still sick, mate.
we're talking.
He's won a World
he's
Cup,
sick.
man. Scored a hat-trick in a
Can you let
World
me
Cup
finish,
final.
please? Can you just let me finish
Oh.
talking? Like he's sick.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
sick as a footballer. There's no disputing that he's a very good, talented footballer, but his work rate is dog shit, and there's no way that works in our team. Like not in
I
the
agree.
slightest. He's
I'm
also
with
got a massive ego. He comes with the whole sort of celebrity status of being Mbappe, which isn't good. It turns
Why
the
not?
club into a bit of.
Why is it
Why?
not good?
Because have you seen PSG? Have you seen what it's like at Madrid now? Like everything he does.
Did you see all
is
the
like-
goals he scored for
it's-
PSG?
What did he get for it? A couple of French leagues. Well
What?
done.
And
Like-
that's just Mbappe's fault, is it? Nah, it's
No.
not. You
Oh,
might
we
be
have-
saying
I
goals.
don't need Mbappe.
Mate,
I
if
got
you saw
Haaland.
if you saw them play against us in the Champions League and didn't think their front
Bro, it's
three
one
doing no
game, man.
tracking
We
back
was
wasn't a
tearing
problem.
arseholes that year.
Look
bro.
at his body of
We was
work, though.
tearing
Look at his
arseholes.
numbers and look at the
Come on,
trophies
man.
that he's won. You
Yeah, it's
can't.
fine.
Haters, man.
I just think that he is bad for any dressing room that he walks into, and it's
Nah,
and
I
that's
disagree,
that's a
mate.
Well,
problem.
let's move it on anyway. 'Cause it's not going to happen. Shout out to Emmanuel. Said,
You never
"Don't
know."
forget to book LB. Yeah, big
Oh,
up,
we're
man.
cooking him now.
Again in
He
the
thinks
chat, man.
Rodrigo's the next
I know.
fucking
It is,
Grealish.
man. All right, and anything else you guys wanted to discuss, either from yesterday, Villa transfers?
Joe, just quickly, left wing next year. Who'd you rather have, Grealish or Mbappe?
Mark Grealish all day long.
Whoa! You wanted them out 30 seconds ago.
I'm gone.
Nah.
I'm gone.
He's
I'm
Grealish.
leaving. I'm leaving the panel, boys. I'm retiring. That's
He's
the end.
playing. Hey, he's trolling. He's rage baiting.
leaving.
Mate, Mbappe's going to cost. Mbappe's going to what, $1 million a week? Like you think? Like we can't be talking about Kevin De Bruyne earning too much and be taking Mbappe in. Like this is ridiculous.
You are not going to let Kevin De Bruyne conversation go, are you?
No, never.
I'd
I
like
think
to
I'll
think,
keep
yeah,
that one
LB. I'd like to think if he was to do some kind of poll or something like that, then the chat will be heavily backing Mbappe.
Yeah, because they all play FIFA. They all don't. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
What's
Like,
wrong with
everyone-
FIFA, man?
Oh, I'm not.
Everyone-
a
with
FIFA
FIFA,
fan.
Everyone thinks having Mbappe is just inherently mint because he's like
It
this
is.
because he got
It is.
5-star skills on FIFA. But like the guy's a knobhead. Like he's like the reason why Madrid.
Just
looks
because
shit
you're a
now.
knobhead, don't mean you're not a world-class
World-class
footballer. Like he's
footballer.
going to go down as one of the
I want-
biggest
I like-
generational talents of all time.
I like my football teams with minimal knobheads, please. Like that's
You know what
I
made
got-
me
that's
laugh?
I
what
want more knobheads. I
What-
think this club needs more
Bro,
knobheads, man. They're too soft. These
Do
guys.
you remember when
That's
people were
there's
saying
a difference
he won't take
between-
Neymar? People said he won't take Neymar. Are you crazy, bro?
Yeah.
What do you mean he won't take
Neymar?
Neymar?
Yeah,
Sick as well.
Neymar. Obviously, I would 100%. I know
It is
Joe-
prime,
It's the
of
same
course.
kind of thing.
There's
It's
no
the
Neymar's
same
question.
kind of thing.
Joe don't rate him though either, so don't let him.
No,
speak
He's
on
another
Neymar.
knob. He's another
Because he's
knobhead.
a
He's another
knobhead.
dressing room. He's another dressing room breaker.
No,
Fucking
Neymar's
hell.
fucking sick, bro. I'm taking Neymar all day long.
What are we
like,
doing here, man?
Nah, post Barca Neymar, I'd take that all day long.
Agreed. Agreed.
All right. Anything else, lads?
I've got something to ask Steve here. Someone shine a spotlight on Steve.
Oh, don't piss me off with this Wan-Bissaka thing, man. Is that what you're
Yeah,
going
man,
to
I
say?
need to know. I need to see the words coming out of your mouth when I'm looking
Go
at
on.
you.
Go on.
You said yesterday Wan-Bissaka's a baller and you'd have him to see him now. Please discuss.
Thank you for giving me the opportunity to discuss this. You see that boy Elliot? Yeah, he's a troll, right? And he was lying. He was lying to everybody. And all I was doing in that one particular moment was just going along with it, bro. I don't rate Wan-Bissaka. I was trolling, bro.
Mate, I
was going along with the troll in it. You know what I'm saying? Don't worry, bro. I'm not stupid.
You got 700 people watching and you're backtracking. Come on.
I'm not backtracking, bro. I'm not backtracking. This Elliot's a dickhead, man.
When I heard that, I was like, "What,
bro? This guy was in my DMs like, "What have I heard here, Steve? What you saying?"
Wan-Bissaka plays football like he's got fucking Timberlands on, man.
No,
I tell you what, though, Joe, he's not a dickhead, is he? So
No, he's not. You're right.
He's a nice lad. Get him in.
He'd be better than Walker.
Yeah, he's not good enough to be a dickhead.
Elliot sends me screenshots of Steve and says, "Look, the state of this guy."
what are you talking about, bro? What are you talking about?
I can sleep tonight knowing that Steve's actually all right.
Basically, what Steve's saying is it was fake news, yeah?
Fake news, man.
What
Fake news.
else? Anyone else got anything?
I would stand on business as well. If I'm, you know what I mean? If I believe something, I will stand on business.
Yeah, no, 100%, man. Anyone else got anything? Oh.
Are we going to talk about that United have finally confirmed they are safe from relegation?
Yeah.
Congrats,
Well done, United.
Congratulations, United.
Well done.
Big up, man.
You hung in there. But are we safe from relegation? That's another
If West Ham didn't drop points against Southampton on Saturday either, they'd all be level on points, just above 17th with Spurs with a game in hand as well. So imagine seeing them one place above the relegation zone by the end of this year.
I like how we were looking at the table earlier. We still had to scroll down to see Spurs, and we still couldn't see him.
Yeah,
16th and still haven't sacked the manager.
Well, they're the
Europa League, man.
Europa League, man.
Yeah,
mate.
If he wins Europa, would you still get rid of him?
Yeah, you got to. You got to.
That shows that.
Yeah, so Tarek, I think that is basically the same as the Ten Hag situation in the summer. You basically say, thank you for winning the trophy, see you later. Whereas what United did, they let Ten Hag win the FA Cup
because of a trophy.
You should have said, thanks for winning the FA Cup, but obviously this ain't working, so cheers, but see you later.
If they get to the final, do you think they do what they did to Mourinho and fire him before the match?
If they do that, just stop watching the club, man.
They did it with Di Matteo at Chelsea as well, didn't they? And we ended up going and being more successful after getting rid of him after he won the Champions League. They went and got Conte and shit like that, didn't he? Won the Prem.
If you know you've got a shit manager, yeah, but like they win you a trophy, just because they win you a trophy don't mean you should keep them if you know that they are shit.
Sentiment again, innit? Can't happen.
They did that with Van Gaal, didn't they?
It could be.
He stunk the place out and they got rid of him after he won the FA Cup. So
it could be. It could be me, and maybe I'm just not looking in the right places. But it's actually like very sort of going criminally under the radar, just how shit these seasons are from these two. Like I don't know if I'm just not. I don't know if I'm just not looking in the right places. But I'm not seeing like a huge amount of like backlash from United.
It's still in Europe, Joe. If they were both out of Europe.
Does that not show you how shit that competition is as well? The fact that them two are in the semi-finals.
Yeah.
Like, people are always slagging the Premier League, saying how shit it is. And also for that, yet we've got these two teams that are in 15th and 16th in our league in the fucking Europa League semi-finals, man. And they're both
West Ham walk in the Conference League.
David Moyes for what they did.
Yeah. How Leon threw that, man. Jesus Christ.
Didn't Wigan sack Roberto Martinez after they beat us in the FA Cup final? Even though they're in Europe.
No, they gave him the year after because he was in Europe, wasn't he? I think they got sacked. Did not come back up and then they sacked him.
That's what the Spurs thing is. They're going to be playing Champions League football in 17th. Wigan are playing Europa League in the Championship.
Yeah, it's mad.
No, that is wild, man. Being 16th in the league's crazy. It's absolutely insane. And if this league was better down at the bottom, man, they'd be serious.
They'd be in big trouble. Yeah.
Gifted them that win at our place in that draw. Take 4 points off that.
Exactly. We could have put them in big bother. Yeah.
First game of the season, they scored a winner against Fulham. Xerxes, that they didn't deserve that win.
So lucky.
Southampton at home. Southampton away, both Southampton games, they didn't deserve to win either of those games. They won them both.
It's all the time, LB, with these, man. It's all the time. Whenever they win, they actually probably never deserve to actually win.
Yeah, they don't deserve it. They very rarely deserve to win the games.
And yet there's United. And obviously, I know that United's problems are not just the manager, but I find it mad how so many United fans are just immediately like, you know what? Nah, I'm not blaming any of this on Amorim because
he's only won 6 games, you know.
He's had long enough now, and the six games as well have been against some real. 3 of them have been the relegation teams, and the other 3 have been.
One of them was us.
When we were in the middle of the shittest run ever, and I think the other 2 were just like random, like some.
Let's not forget we give Anja 4-0 this year as well.
We did.
How fucking embarrassing, man.
Yeah.
But just Joe, do you know he's statistically their worst manager since the 1970s, Amorim?
That's insane, and the fans still are backing him. I don't understand it. It probably shows where the standards are right now. That he's just like oh, well, he's got he's young and he wears a club merch, so sick. Let's keep him. But
he's got nice hair.
Trust the process,
bro.
He
doesn't have nice hair. That's a weird thing.
Shout out to Elliot as well, man. Apparently the away end last night, but yesterday was sick.
I heard it was good as well.
Here's one for you, LB. I seen an Everton fan post on Twitter that it was the best away end they've ever seen in their lifetime.
A lot of teams say that about the City away fans, though. The criminally underrated City away fans. I think our home games tend to get us a bit of a bad rep, but people usually stand on business when it comes to our away support, and it is usually fucking tip top of the league, man. To be fair to them.
The home support's just an easy target, right? We could feel like there could be 1 seat missing for the whole season.
That's the fucking club's fault, half of it.
You just know some fucking mutant's going to take a picture during the protest on Tuesday. And they say, look at all the empty seats. They don't fill them.
I'm big up to the Everton fans as well. I know this is a bit woke and shit like that, which I don't usually like, but they all give Kev a standing ovation when he come off and stuff like that, showing respect to a Premier League's all-time great. So respect to the Everton fans for showing the love to Kevin as well, man, because he deserves it. He's, in my opinion, the best Premier League midfielder we've ever seen. So it's good to see people appreciating him.
It's the blue side, man. The red side of Liverpool. They're scumbags, mate, but they're on the blue side. They're nice guys, isn't it? Big up to
Kev's half the reason why they're why Liverpool haven't won 2 or 3 more Premier League titles. So they probably love him.
Yeah, nah, it's crazy.
Here's one for you, LB. You might be able to put yourself a little cheeky heated in the title and get yourself another 1,000 views today.
Yeah, get some more views. Go on, man.
Big up, though, man.
It has been heated tonight, and I'm feeling it. I've got like the blood rushing through my veins. I've enjoyed it, man. It's been a bit of a different vibe, hasn't it? So
you know what, though? I'll tell you
some good
something.
debates.
If we win the league, if we win the FA Cup, get top 5. For me, I'm taking that to the bank, mate. I'm cashing that in big time, because this season has been fucking shit.
It's a proper heist. It's a proper heist.
But I've not seen like City fans like this sort of like fucking going at each other. I don't even think it was like this in 2020, innit? Do you know what I mean? Everyone was probably arguing about the COVID vaccine back then, innit? But like, probably not been like this. Like, even Pellegrini's last year, which was shit, it wasn't this bad. Bro,
there's been nothing to moan about.
I think in 2020 though, we were at least like we were entertaining. Like we scored a shitload of goals that year. Like we just didn't win lots of games. Like whereas this year we've just been so fucking turgid. Like we've scored like easily the least goals in a Pep side like that in this season. And we just watched the same problems repeat over and over again. Like Pep struggled to actually come to terms with that and solve them. Still playing the same players over again.
Players in.
That's what it needs.
Like, let some of these older guys just say, see you later, in my opinion. Like, you know what I'm saying? And get the new guys in. I think Savio next year is going to step up massively. I reckon Savio...
Bro, hang on a minute. Well, what's the difference between Savio and Doku, please?
Exactly.
What do you mean?
What's the difference?
You don't want me to answer that
question. Why is Savio supposedly clear of Doku for what?
I don't think he's clear, but I'll
know you one reason.
Why is he better though?
I'll know you one reason, Steve, right now. Savio's
more suited to the team. He's more
better defensive work rate. Yes.
Yeah.
Defensive work rate.
Yeah, defensive work rate.
I do not think Doku suits Man City at all. Now, I think part of that is due to Doku, and part of that is because we do not coach our players to go in the right positions for Doku. Some guy on Twitter, there was someone debating Doku before I seen it. I was doing a stream. Some guy, on Twitter put 50% of Doku's crosses ain't good. 50% of Doku's crosses, the team just ain't doing anything. They ain't working hard enough to get in the right spot, and that is just a fact. Look how many assists Doku has for Haaland. He's been here 2 years. He doesn't suit us, in my opinion. I won't be throwing him out. I won't be getting rid of him. Savio is different. Savio suits, this team, and I think next year Savio's about to go off.
90%, but you could also say 90% of Savio's shots are shit. Like the guy can't kick a ball when he comes into that position.
They are. But finishing can be worked on.
Hang on a minute.
I think crossing can as well.
Crossing can be worked on.
Yeah, I think crossing.
But it hasn't been for 2 years, has it?
The thing is, as well, he's weak foot crossing as well.
This is Savio's
also Doku. Yeah, Doku's a year ahead of Savio, and he's still having like similar kind of output problems that Savio had.
In fairness to Savio, he had a very good season at Girona. Like Girona's they were playing at a high level. He was in the French league, mate.
I've seen Doku have great games in the Champions League in huge games. Even I know we lost the FA Cup final and stuff, but come on and like be the best player in that. I've seen him cook Carvajal against Madrid and people like that. Like I've seen him turn up in big moments. Do you know what I mean? So
let me leave you with this. Let me just leave you with this. Let me leave you with this. Doku is the best player in the world at beating players and dribbling.
And if his crossing comes, then what's stopping him be a world beater? Do you know what I'm saying?
Best in the world, number one.
I also think Pep needs to coach the players to get the players in the right position, because they're never in the right position. No one ever makes
I think a big thing as well is that Savio, I've seen from him like a lot of the he does a lot of like through balls and stuff like that that get through. So obviously, like if the ball isn't just like Doku is very much a get to the byline or get to the edge of the penalty area and cross it in kind of guy. Savio, I think, has a little bit more to him. He can come central and do and play like a cute through ball through to someone. I don't really see a lot of that from Doku, like anywhere near the same extent. Not saying that he hasn't ever done it, like he has done it in the past, but it's not his game. Like I think Doku's game is quite one dimensional, really. And if you've got a game where you need that one dimensional thing, which is just attack the fullback and just try and get the ball in the box, then
attack the fullback and everyone else.
Did you feel like? And maybe you won't attribute this to him, but did you feel like once the substitution in the match yesterday, when he came on, there was a different pace, there was a different feel to the match once he came on. Now, maybe you don't attribute that to him. Maybe you don't attribute it to him. But I feel like there was a definitive change once he came on. And it was only after that we got our goals. Now, if it's something else, I can't say that he's the cause and correlation, whatever. What I can say is it happened once he came on the pitch. Before him, it was kind of stale and slow.
Defenders are terrified of him. That's why, isn't it?
And I think that's the biggest reason.
He demands that much attention from defensive midfielders and right backs to all come across. It creates space all over the pitch for everyone else.
Let me tell you now, Tariq. Yeah, if it was Doku that was on for 80 minutes and then Savio came on and then we won 2-0, Doku would be getting slaughtered all stream.
Yes,
and Savio will be getting praised.
Savio,
I didn't feel like Savio was bad. I felt like
Savio was bad yesterday.
For me, listen, Savio's a great player, man. I like them both.
And people will gas up a Grealish fucking 20 minutes, 20-minute cameo against Madrid and all shit like that.
There it is. We almost got through a Doku conversation without the G-word being brought into it.
But this is what I can't get my head round, because you can't say that one's had a good cameo and then not the other yesterday.
Jay, I'll give credit where it's due. I give Grealish credit for his cameos. I like Grealish. I think Grealish offers things. I do. You know what I'm saying?
Look, obviously my feelings on Doku have been made very clear, but I've seen Doku have like many good performances. He's had some good performances. He's had many good cameos off the bench. It's just that my benchmark for what is a good appearance off the bench isn't just the defense looks a bit more scared and he runs the ball out and play a couple of times.
That's a great.
Yeah, but that's fine. But like,
that's fantastic.
But do you give him credit for the hockey assist or pre-assist or whatever we want to call it?
Fair enough. The pre-assist.
You know what? You could make a highlight catalog. You could make a highlight catalog this year as well of people that have missed fucking sitters off Doku's assist.
Don't say that, because I've got a compilation.
The amount of sitters that I've seen Haaland miss and Marmoush miss off Doku perfectly finding him in the box, man. And he's probably been robbed of 6-7 assists this season.
I've seen multiple compilations of Grealish as exactly the same thing.
But Joe, here's the thing. Here's the thing, bro. Yeah, you're right. But what are we comparing for, though? You're right. You're right, and Jay's right.
I agree. You know? But the point is that like one is getting repeated shit for his lack of output and his lack of consistency in performance. And Doku's getting fucking glazed for coming off the pitch for coming off the pitch.
He's not getting glazed, bro.
I think the reason that people people feel the need to go to extremes is because like if you come on and you're giving Grealish all this praise, and then you're on the same hand, you're saying that Doku was crap, and anybody that says that he's good is glazing him. But I think he was. I think
the agenda was disclosed to me.
But so then now people who feel like Doku is not that bad feel that they have to go to the other extreme to kind of counter what you're saying. And I think there's some place in the middle. I think that is Doku. Is he a finished product? No, but he's 22, 23.
Yeah, and Doku's like
Grealish is 27, 28. So I think there's still room for him to continue to progress. Does he need to continue to progress? Yes. But I don't think that he is. My issue, and I think Steve or whoever else, is that we give him we treat Doku like he's the finished product and he has to have it all together today. And I don't think that's fair. And I don't think that, again, from my opinion, he's not being treated with the same expectations of every other player on our team, because you can't, it's just not intellectually honest to say that he's been crap, but Grealish has been good. That's just not fair. You can say they're both been crap, or you can say they've both been good, but you can't say that it's one or the other.
My thing with that is that they both are given very different jobs to do. So I do not expect the two.
Pause for a second. Why do you think that they have been given different jobs? Just because Grealish comes on and doesn't do what Doku does not mean that he's been given a different task.
It's because
he keeps it's because we know what Grealish does and doesn't do, and Pep continues to use him a bit. If Pep was saying to Grealish,
he don't use him, bro.
Let me answer the question. Like if Pep has been told, do what Doku does, run at defenders, you attack that fullback all game long, and repeatedly, time after time after time, for at least 2 to 3 years now, Grealish doesn't do that. Would Pep still be bringing him on or playing him at all? I don't think he would.
But he's not playing.
But he had a couple.
Well, no, but he has for the last 2 or 3 years. He's not now because it's pretty much. I think it's pretty much a given that he's out the door already. And like he's obviously not he's not available.
Yeah, he's gone.
He's one of the many players.
He's gone. And at that point, why play him? Doku.
Yeah, but because we can't get rid of everyone.
He may be at some point. We don't know. He may be at some point.
My personal opinion on Doku is that he gives us something different. However, I don't think I've seen enough progression from what he did from the minute he walked in through the door to now. I think he's basically the same player, and that same player cannot assist our potential, our 30 to 50 goal a season striker. He can't assist him, and
I'd argue that's not his fault.
Like, I think it is. I think
he's got the stats, bro.
I genuinely think though, Joe, and this is coming from someone who's not a massive Doku fan. I genuinely think that is a coaching issue, because as we've spoke about on this channel bare times, Doku's on the left crossing the ball in with his weak foot, and Haaland's always at the back post, and every single one of Doku's crosses is near post. So why is Haaland not being told to go to the near post?
Yeah, no, it is a coaching thing, because O'Reilly's
going coaching issue.
O'Reilly's going near post. Why's Haaland not doing it?
You know what it is, LB? Yeah, like you don't.
Marmoush is going near post.
You don't need 9 players on the pitch to get your GNA. You need 2 or 3. It doesn't always.
But one of those 2. But one of those 2 or 3 is your winger. That's what Grealish.
No. It doesn't have to be.
Grealish gets the most shit for the not having GNA because
of Grealish, bro. So you're talking to the wrong guy about.
No. I know, but I just mean the general discussion is always that Grealish is shit as a winger.
Again, for me, I'll argue the same thing for Grealish. Grealish, he hasn't always got me GNA, but I've always liked what Grealish brings, bro.
Yeah.
I don't need every player to get me GNA. For me, get me a few midfielders getting more GNA. Then for me, Doku is the best in the world at what he does, terrorizing defenders. And then laying it off to the midfielder. He can do that all day long for me. And then let others get GNA.
I'll tell you what, though, going back to the Gibbs White thing, if we do get Gibbs White, it'd be interesting to see Gibbs White with that energy that Pulpy was speaking about before, getting himself into the box. And if he takes that near post, then let's see how Gibbs White gets on with Doku. But listen,
you see these mutants that talk about Jack Grealish, bro. I'm with you, Joe. Yeah, you say, oh, the GNA is crap. It's not there. Okay. But do you see what he offers? Because I do. I see what he offers. I see what he brings most of the time when he's having the chance. So I'm not putting pressure on him to get GNA. It's not in everybody. Ryan Giggs was never the best at getting GNA. Ryan Giggs, this is the Premier League legend.
Well, you say that about the person who's the most assists in Premier League history. But
that's longevity, bro. He's also got the most games as well.
Probably averaged about
if you look at season for season, you know what I'm saying. But he had
no, that is true. That is definitely
he played more games in the league than I've played fucking minutes on Call of Duty.
No, exactly. Yeah,
he got KD's shit, man. 0.6 KD.
Yeah. But anyway, but to bring back to the initial thing was Savio and Doku being treated a bit differently. Like, I think but this could just be me, and again, you could call it my agenda, whatever you want. But I look at the two, and I think Savio has a comfortably higher ceiling than Doku personally.
Agreed.
Like I think they've both got very high ceilings. In my opinion.
I think Doku is the player that he is always going to be for the rest of it. He might get a bit more consistent with his crossing, but he's ultimately always going to be this player for the rest of his career. He's a pacey
standard. Then I'm happy with that.
He's a pacey fullback attacking winger, and I think if you're someone who's fine with that and just like whatever GNA he gets out of it afterwards, who cares because it's exciting to watch. That's fine. Like if that's what you want to watch,
it's effective for me though as well, bro.
It is effective as well.
But I'm someone who just like if I'm watching, like, obviously the Liverpool game for me was the biggest one where he rinsed Trent Alexander-Arnold all game. He rinsed Trent all day long, but did literally fuck all with it when he got to the box. And that
he's crossing to just Haaland in the box, Canati and Van Dijk.
Haaland wasn't in the box.
More players need to get into the box.
That's fine. That's fine. If you're going to just make excuses for the winger having shit crossing, then cool, that's fine. Like. I'm not being funny, but I'm not being funny. Haaland 2 years ago.
The best centre back of all time, mate.
Do you not agree though, Joe? Why is Haaland always at the back post when Doku's crossing into the
and that's fair enough. But I do think that ultimately, when you've got a guy who 2 years ago had 50 odd goals for us in a single season, I would argue maybe make the winger adjust to him and not the other way around. Maybe Haaland's not doing anything wrong. Haaland is doing is getting results. Just make Doku change what he does.
If he can score 50 goals a season, isn't he good enough to adapt his game? Surely he's a good enough striker to be able to adapt.
Why should he have to? If he scores 50 odd goals, why should he have to?
Because Doku's crossing the ball to the front post, you're not going to score a goal. When Doku's on the left-hand side, as per the assist stat, which is horrific. But when Doku's on the left wing, Haaland needs to make near post runs, unless you've got an 8 or a 10.
That's probably fair, but then also there should be something on Doku where he goes, look, Haaland's obviously not doing that. It's been 2 years, he's not doing that. I should change what I do instead.
Joe's got a point, yeah. Let me tell you though, on that season where Haaland got all them goals, who was on the left wing? Grealish, right? Mm-hmm. And how many assists did he give to Haaland? Not that many, right? So it's not always on one player again, innit?
I think I know this is like a bit like shit, yeah, but like, I think if you look how many times Grealish give the ball to like De Bruyne or Cancelo sometimes in that area, I think he would have slammed.
I do get what Joe was saying, because in that treble season there were so many goals where you'd have Sergio Gomez. It was Sergio Gomez who'd overlap, and he'd just cut back the penalty spot.
That United game, that game against United.
And then there was
ultimately, this is one thing we've been missing, guys. Yeah, we can argue till the cows come home, but one thing we've been missing is a fucking fullback. Do you know what I mean? Like an actual fullback, like an overlapping kind of fullback. Which,
we spoke about this topic so many times. At the end of the day, yeah, like I said, I did a watch along of Stade Rennes when we signed this guy, and I said on that very watch along, this guy is going to be the next Raheem Sterling. Some people love him. Some people hate him.
I remember you saying,
Bro, I seen it. We didn't sign the player.
The proof's in the pudding right here, right? I love the guy.
I seen it straight away. The guy actually played on the right-hand side in that match. I was like, I seen it. I've seen the way he played. I was like, some City fans are going to hate this guy because I seen it with Sterling. Even when Sterling was banging in goals left, right and centre. And some people prefer like a Grealish. Some people love the Doku take-ons. I don't know.
I think a large part of, like you say that, like you were just saying that, I think a large part of the reason why so many fans have just become, and I do get Tarek's point earlier about how like a lot of it is just like the extreme opposite reaction to people not being keen on him. But I do think that that lots of people have already went to the extreme the moment that he joined, because he isn't Grealish. Like for whatever, like, rightly or wrongly, before we signed Doku, there was a lot of people who were just frustrated with the left wing just being a often a cutback, pass inside or backwards kind of thing. And they wanted someone who just attack a fullback. And now I almost think it's at the point where as long as someone's attacking a fullback, they don't actually give a fuck what else he does because he's attacking a fullback, and that's just what we've wanted for a long time. And I think that is ultimately I think that's what it is with Jeremy Doku. I think the standards at left wing for a lot of people were on the fucking floor because it was Grealish just passing backwards and sideways. That as long as somebody is not passing it backwards and sideways, they're fine with it, and I think that's what Doku. And I think Doku just gives you.
And I think that's a
Grealish.
fair statement, and I think you could say that on both sides,
It's
right?
a fair statement.
We say the same thing about Bernardo on the right side. So I think there's something to be said there. I'll just leave it there because I know we're trying to move on from this.
I think he does both though for me, boys. I'm sorry to keep going on in it, but I think he twists man up, and then I see him bare times passing it to the edge of the box. I'm all right with that.
Yeah, he is improving somewhat on that recently, but
I think he can keep the ball. One of the things we say about Grealish, he comes on, keep the ball. He draws a lot of fouls. He can carry it. You can't. It's hard to get the ball off of him. I think it's the same thing for Doku. It looks different. It doesn't look the same, but it's so hard to take the ball off the guy.
Bro,
I've seen this guy give up so many counterattacks. It's just it's a problem. Like and that's part. And to be fair, that's not necessarily on him. If he's being told go out there and attack your fullback, you're not going to win every one of those. You aren't going to dribble past the guy every single time.
Yeah.
And the problem with that high risk game, and obviously this is something Pep considers. This isn't something that's going to be news to him. The problem with that is if you lose the ball, we're in such a shit position this year that one ball over the top is basically a chance on goal for the other team, and that can be very, very frustrating to watch because giving up a counter attack. This team this year is suicidal, and because of Doku's game, it's a percentages game, innit? So the percentages where you don't get past the defender are the percentages where someone's taken it off you, passed it to a midfielder, bang, counter attack launched, and that's kind of just the.
And I guess what I was pointing to was even when he got the pass into Gundo in the box, is he was going left, he cuts back inside, they can't get the ball off him. He keeps going towards the middle. He plays that ball into Gundo.
Gundo, yeah.
It's a Gundo, which I actually thought Gundo should have turned a shot, to be honest with you.
I thought that,
but he lays it off and we get the goal from it. So again, I agree that he gives the ball away. I think, to a certain extent, he probably gives the ball away more than Grealish. I will give you that. But I think he can do a lot, if not, maybe not all. He can do a lot of what Grealish does. I just don't think that Grealish can do what he does as far as taking it on, beating in. That's the thing that I think maybe separates them a little bit. But
good
again,
debate though, man. You know what I'm saying?
I would personally have a completely different left winger than either of them. So it's neither here nor there.
Yeah, we can agree on that. Yeah,
I agree.
Good debate.
Good
debate again. Yeah.
Let me do these chats and then we'll wrap it up, man. We've gone over 2 hours. Shout Echo 4 says FA Cup bigger than Europa. Beating top 4 EPL is harder than some 5th place bum from La Liga. Older competition.
That's another good debate, isn't it? I think that's a good debate.
It looks that way based off the fucking Europa League this year, isn't it? All the and the Champions League. Really look how far Villa got, and look what Villa did to PSG last week as well, and they're currently 7th in the Premier League, aren't they? So
fact. Shout out to him again. Says most dribblers flop over if they feel they're going to lose the ball. Doku fights until the last second, never drops someone a foul.
No one drops Doku on his ass. He drops them on their ass. Seen people bouncing off him all the time.
He's a fucking unit, isn't he?
Yeah.
That is one of the things I'll absolutely give him. Like if he loses the ball, it's because he's just been tackled as trying to dribble past someone. It's never someone shoving him off the ball. The guy's got such a mad his core must be ridiculous because he's quite short in it. But
he's so strong, isn't he?
Insane with body strength.
What's people on their ass?
Yeah. It's his legs.
So strong.
Yeah.
Shout out to WLM as well, man. Big up to you, bro. Yeah, listen, let's see what happens next year when we get some midfielders who can actually run. That'd be nice.
You know what? I've really enjoyed this panel tonight, man. It's been great. It's been a bit different, man.
I like having some good debates, man, where the panel's split. We can't all be singing from the same.
I love it, man. I love it. I smile when I hear things I don't agree with. I smile. I love it.
This is why I like having Joe on, because the debates are always better when Joe's on. I swear.
Every time someone asks me if I prefer a world-class left winger or Jack Grealish, it brings a smile to me.
We know that's just the go-to kryptonite, Joe, that you just can't not answer.
Ribery or Grealish, what was saying?
Are we talking prime Ribery or like?
Or Ribery now.
Yeah.
Ribery got robbed of the Ballon d'Or in like 2013. Grealish got
He
robbed
did get robbed.
Well, Grealish won us a few free kicks in the treble running. So
Don't do that, Jacob.
Started, man. Now, big up to you guys.
Sorry.
I've got like a one-hit question for everyone before I go.
Rapid, yeah, go on.
There was something that I saw the other day on X. I think Jay shared it, and I think Steve has as well. So, in your time as a City fan watching City, who's the worst player you've ever seen? For me, it was McManaman.
Yeah.
But I'd love to hear your guys' opinions. Who's the worst player you've ever seen?
They brought McManaman in to play like CDM, didn't they? When he was supposed to be like a winger, like later in his career. So yeah, he was garbage.
I thought McManaman was a good player.
He was shite.
In his day, but he come to us at the back end of his career, didn't he?
He was harsh.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah. A player that like maybe he's not as shit as other players, but like I just really did not like was Talbanine.
That's an agenda right there.
Who did I say, Pulpy? I can't even remember.
I can't remember. I think Steve, you said Samaras, didn't you?
I said
Steven
Samaras.
Jordan as well.
Oh yeah, you said Nagui.
Yeah.
I said Christian Nagui. Yeah, he was fucking dreadful.
Sorry, Danny and Joe. Let's hear it.
Is there Mycon's got a good shout. I think he was fucking dreadful.
We got when he was washed. You have to take that into account.
Yeah, exactly. But he was so he was dog shit for us. Like he was awful. Yeah.
Mycon's harsh, I think.
That's Terra Nova.
Rodwell's up there. I've seen a few people say him.
I was going to say Rodwell.
We've had one worse.
Calvin Phillips is well up there as well.
Yeah.
Calvin Phillips
legit is on that list, man. He was trash.
Yeah.
I think for me, and I feel crazy because I think I had pretty high expectations, was probably Wilfred Brony. Because coming in, I thought he was going to cook for us, and
I thought he was fine, kind of.
For City, no.
Maybe my expectations were too high.
Joe, you're right. No, but he wasn't that bad, Joe. He was just.
He was a long way away from being. He was a long way from being one of the worst players I've ever seen.
Yeah.
No, I was with you, Terry.
Are you mad, Nasri? What are you talking about?
Nasri.
Brother, hang on. Bro, he's one of the best
someone say
midfielders
Otamendi as well. Someone said Otamendi as well. Otamendi was like one of the best centre backs in the league.
Yeah,
Mangala would be on that list probably.
No, I've been thinking about. I've actually been racking my brain for who I've seen over the years who's actually worse than McManaman. Probably a shock.
Bro. It's bad.
Honestly, man, he was bad. He was horrific.
That's it. He was.
I found someone worse, mate.
Go on.
I'd be amazed if anybody can even remember this. I don't know if anyone's Peter fucking Beardsley.
Another one. It's before my time, but
I was too young.
He was mid when he played for other teams. When he played for us, man, in League One or whatever it was, he was fucking man.
Is that early 90s?
Over a cold night, thinking, "Gee, I'm fucking 14. I can do better than you, mate. What you doing?"
What year was that, Pulpy?
Was it early
97, 98 or something? 98. Man, he was
back end of his career, wasn't it? Because
he was alone for like 15 minutes or something. He was horrific.
See,
it was like one of those players we've been like linked to, and he was like, "Oh, Beardsley, we were dead," and he was horrific. He must be about 40. Yeah, Beardsley was a bad shout.
Ilano, nah, you guys are trolling, man.
This has got to be a joke.
You guys are fucking rage baiting us, man.
These guys have got no ball knowledge, man.
Is Stefan Savic a bad shout? I don't think.
Oh, yeah. Do
you know who else was bad in that similar time? Jerome Boateng before he went to Bayern. He was terrible as well.
He was a bit bad.
You guys are clowning, but they are not bad players. I'm talking real stink.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
I meant more for City. I went more for City.
We need to hear from the unks, man. Like, you know, the unks who are like, you know what I mean? 50s.
They start saying guys we never even heard of, bro.
Fucking hell, some of the names I've seen here. Anelka, get out of the channel.
No, shut up. Anelka was sick.
Scored in the derby.
So good, man.
Scored in the derby, mate.
Oh man, agendas. We've just turned over 1,000 agendas in the channel.
Yeah. Write these guys' names down in the chat, man.
We should do that though. We should have a show where we disclose our agendas because
we should have that. At the end of the season,
mine are all out in the open.
Hey, Jeremy Doku, that is shocking. Milner was a good player.
Yeah, end of the season, man. End of the season, we'll do a show, in the off season, We'll do like something that you like think's a controversial take.
Adam Johnson. Go on there.
Mahrez. Come on, man. Mahrez. What are we doing?
Talking about Mahrez, bro.
Oh my God.
Get out of here, man.
That Brazilian Joe was really bad.
You're gonna ban him for 3 shows.
Jerome's got to go, man. He keeps saying Aguero. You need to have a word. You need
no.
mention me.
Someone said
Negredo.
Scroll up. Someone said Negredo. What we doing?
Yeah, no, he got hurt.
Yeah, someone said Maguire. That's who I said. Yes, Woody.
Honestly, right. Anyway, let's wrap it up, man. Shout out to you guys in the chat, man. Make sure you guys smash a like on the way out. Innit? I'm going to redirect you to Martin's live, doing another show himself. So, yeah. So if you've not had enough here, you want some more City, then go over there, spam LB raid in his chat.
Yo, look out for the Twitter space tonight as well, if there is one. Look out.
Yeah, Twitter spaces, man. But just be warned, yeah.
If you want to talk about Gibbs White for another 3 hours, go to that.
Yeah, your Mondays are chalked if you go on them shows, but they are sick, and that's why they're chalked. You just can't get off them, man. It's crazy. It's crazy. But yeah, big up to you boys, obviously, for joining as always. Yeah, shout out to Pulpy, Danny, who come on a watch on the other day, man, for the River Plate game.
That was fun.
I enjoyed watching that, boys. I was just listening.
I'm gonna start doing them. Fucking, it's Super Classical next week, so I'm gonna do that. Man.
Yeah.
Next time, I'm not getting baited. I got baited last time. I'm not getting.
I remember that. Baited. Yo, I was laughing my balls off, mate.
Yeah, that was crazy. But yeah, these South American ballers go off, man. So I'm gonna start watching a lot more River Plate than that, man. Like, it's unbelievable. And that Maston Tuono, by the way, yeah, fucking hell. He's gonna be a player. He'll be at Real Madrid, fucking Barcelona, a top team. He's unbelievable.
Man City.
So we should just go get him now.
Genuinely, I would actually quite happily have him at City right now.
Yeah.
But yeah, shout out to Joe, who's on the City Ramble podcast. Make sure you guys checking that out. They're on YouTube, but mainly on the podcast platform. So make sure daily podcast there as well. Shout out to Steve, who's just everywhere nowadays. He's on the fucking the spaces, the YouTube, man. So make sure you check him out on. These all the guys are on Twitter as well. Shout out to Tariq, man. He's got his YouTube channel, bro. Shout out as well.
Yeah. I watched the stream on Thursday. Fantastic.
He did. He watched it, bro.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Really he was in the stream. There's a couple people from the chat, so I appreciate. Over there we call them Shady Gang. That's our little people that join consistently, and over here I just like to call these folks my LB fam. And so I appreciate all the folks from the LB fam that jump over there and give us love and show us love. It's really great. But you can check us out at Shades of Blue if you're on Twitter or Blue Sky. It's at Shades of Blue NW. It's probably the same thing on YouTube too. But we're also we have, if you go out to your normal podcast platforms, you can find us there as well. But yeah, we just love to talk about City. It's a group of folks from the US who we came together because of our love for the club. We didn't know each other. We live in completely different parts of the country, but we came together to just talk City, and it's kind of grown into talking more. Danny was on with us Thursday night. He was a part of the the chat or whatever. And on Thursdays we bring in people from that want to just talk footy in general, or we can really talk about anything. But so we have people that come on and talk about Arsenal. Unfortunately, we have people come on and talk about women's footy. So if you just love the sport, come on, check us out.
Big up, man. Yeah, make sure you guys checking out his channel.
About women's football for the first time in 4 years. That's impressive.
Yeah, man. No, big up, man. Big up, and big up Jay as well, man. For jumping
I don't do anything special. Just mill about on Twitter, innit? Hit me up. If you want an argument.
Professional shit.
If you want an argument.
If you want to see,
hit me up if you want a row and to meet me outside the Etihad, man. I'm always ready.
You want to see a Ruben Diaz agenda.
You have an ability to upset people on Twitter like none other, man.
Nothing gives me a bigger hard on than doing that shit like that. Sorry.
It's so funny, isn't it? It's great, isn't it?
Big up, Mr. G. Yeah. I see that.
It is wild.
You've got to be careful, Jan. People, you just don't know who knows somebody, man.
Do you know what? Yeah, I bet that guy's watching tonight. You are a muppet, mate.
Yeah, I see you watching. Yeah, and I'm gonna see you soon on the down the road.
There's always breadcrumbs, man. There's always breadcrumbs to somebody in an original account that you used to have, and you used to run your mouth, and people find you. So
that guy was a weirdo, man, talking shit like that, bro.
Yeah, watch yourself, you little 90s merchant.
90s merchant.
Big up the man, though.
He was called Danny as well.
Yeah, that name, man. I thought it was you. I thought it was you on a burner account, man.
Someone in the replies asked, "Is this the one who goes on the panel?" I'm like, "Shut your mouth."
I was about to book a flight to California, man, on smoke.
No, it's crazy. No, big up to is it Archie or Actual? It says LB, you single-handedly kept my sanity given all the lows this season. gym, in the cab, or in a walk. The pods are perfect. Shout out Danny as well. Now, big up to you, man.
Yeah.
Love you, mate. Love
What
you.
a message.
Big up for watching, man. Nah, big up to you, bro. Appreciate it, man.
Yeah, man, big up.
All right, and lads, I will leave it there. Shout out, man. Cracking show tonight, man. Proper enjoyed it, innit? Smash these likes up on the stream before you go. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel as well. Hopefully, we've got Elbin tomorrow. I know Hugh's already messaged me, so we should be on with Hugh tomorrow night as well. And yeah, I'll redirect you to Martin, man. Enjoy the show. See you later.
Peace out, guys.